I wouldn't want that.
Nah,
You want that?
you didn't want that. Lucky, I'm glad he said no. Then I realized once I said it, like, fuck.
That calls me out. I'm getting some shit.
Yeah.
What up, Glenn? What up, Glenn?
If who says I'm with it, damn.
That's right. So, but so you didn't catch the race at all, Massa?
I didn't. I was watching it last night, but then I seen the FS1 replay and I changed it to watch the second half of that.
You didn't get to see that. That show was good though. That show, like you know what was good about this race is that there's not a lot of overtaking in Barcelona, but you could see the raw car, like the raw speed of the car in Barcelona, and I mean, without a doubt, it's gonna be fucking
Mercedes,
but Mercedes with the edge, I think. Oh,
Is it
Hammy?
Yeah,
Hammy's
that
stupid, bro.
takeover, that
Hammy
takeover
is
for Hamilton.
stupid.
Oh man,
Hammy is
takeover?
dumb, bro. Hammy, like that would just again he was like 20 seconds like behind.
Yeah.
Right? And he knows how to fucking just eat that up, dog. He just yeah, man. I was fucking impressed again. It's crazy because I already know he's good. You know what I mean? Like I don't think it's
he just does shit.
anybody.
He just does shit that's like, damn, I would have never seen that. I don't know. That motherfucker's wild.
I hear you. Yep, says my voice is low-key still gone from Saturday. Yeah, I hear you, man. I went straight tease yesterday to make sure I didn't sound like shit again today. So I hope it don't sound. I mean,
good.
I still, you know what I mean?
Nah, you sound good.
Back to my annoying voice, but you know, at least it's not shitty like it was that one night because that was bad. A couple months ago, man. You know what though? Like there wasn't enough going on in the race for me this weekend. Like the race was a little.
That's
The
what
beginning was
that's what
cool.
it seemed like from
The
like
beginning was cool, and then just the ending because you didn't know if it was gonna happen, like the takeover,
Yeah.
or how he was gonna do it. Yeah, the middle part was alright.
It was dull. It was like not a lot of.
that's what it
not a
seemed
lot of
like
action.
from like highlights and like just going back on Twitter to see what was going on. It seemed like it was kind of a dull race. But I don't know. I missed it.
Music Across the Galaxy, and I'm assuming said, yep. Eddie says, about to work out. Angel, you have some inspirational shit. Oh, inspirational words.
It is Eddie.
Stop being a fat shit and go work out.
Oh fuck! I know,
damn.
man.
Damn.
Hey, if you fag and fuck with yourself, don't let this say anything to you, though. Fuck the insecurity at the digs. What happened? Hit me up, Apple. Let me know what happened. We'll figure that out. What up, Vic? What up, Mike?
Let me pop up the chat.
Me too.
Yeah, my chat is not refreshing on the side.
There we go. All right, we chilling. Got the chat. Fuck the new security.
There it is. Never mind. There it is. I'm inspired now. Yeah, man. It was interesting. Not too much in it though. It was interesting. What's up with fucking La Liga being stupid as shit though?
I honestly, when Atleti tied Barca, bro, like I was watching the game, right? First half, I was like, man, Atleti should be up this game. And then fucking second half, I'm like, fuck, dude, Barca's taking over again. Like, what the fuck is going on? And then when they end up in draws, I was like, fuck, dude.
Man,
I was like, I knew Sevilla was good, right? But the whole time I'm thinking, fuck, Real Madrid about to win this shit next day.
Yeah,
you know,
me too.
And dog, on Sunday, I was so busy for Mother's Day. I went to go see my mom's and shit. So they don't have BN. So I checked the score and Sevilla's up 1-0 like 27 minutes in. I was like, damn, all right, fuck yeah, do us a solid. But then I'm like, if these fools win, they have a chance at the title too.
Yeah.
You know, Sevilla wins. I was like, fuck. And then I seen I think, what was it, 1-1? Did it go 1-1?
Yeah, it went 1-1.
1-1, and then I was like, all right, cool, fuck. And then I seen Sevilla again go up, and I was like, hell yeah, let's fucking go.
The way that Sevilla went up was fucking crazy.
Yeah, that play was
corner
stupid.
kick. It was off a corner kick. My man went up. He spun his. I don't know what he tried to do. I think he tried to get it higher. And
he saw Zubac 360 spin, dog.
Yeah, so he tried to do that. And then the counter attack on that, there was a fucking penalty on the other side.
That shit was dumb. Like it was gonna be a penalty for one team. After VAR replay, it's gonna be a penalty for one team, and it went that way. But yeah, man, it's so dumb. Nobody wants to take the league. Nobody wants to run away with it. I think Atleti had a chance to run away with it. Barca's had a chance to run away with it. Real has a chance to run away with it. I hope Sevilla wins. That'd be dope as shit, though.
Nah, it's
That'd
like
That'd
chill.
be dope as shit, though.
Now you know what? I was looking at Atleti's last 3 games, and that shit ain't gonna be easy, bro. We got Sociedad next, and they're like 5th in the league. So
Atleti's done.
I don't know about that.
Real Madrid had the tiebreaker on both Barca and Atleti, right? That's what I heard in
Yeah.
the Mission.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah, man, it's trash. I really thought they were gonna run away with it. Man City also choking. I thought they were gonna run with. They were claiming the league this weekend. They couldn't.
But
do
they're
it. Chelsea-
basically won that shit, bro.
yeah. They
It's like-
just have to win and I think with any man who drops points and they win, it's a wrap. It's a wrap for them.
We'll see.
Still, I
We'll see,
expected them. I expect them to whoop ass just to kind of set the marker for Champions League final. But Chelsea wouldn't fucking go away. Doesn't go away. Interesting too, because I don't think Chelsea's that dope. I think they have a lot of speed, but I don't think they're that dope.
What's that coaching, bro?
Maybe.
Coaching, the defensively solid team now.
Yeah.
With Lampard. So
Yeah. I don't know if still current, but I know a couple weeks ago they were like the best defensive team in the second half of the season. Like they had done really well. So yeah, I guess then they got that speed, man. Like if Werner was on fire, if he could fucking score this season, man, my guy would have so many goals because he got that pace that just kind of burns fools, dog.
he's not lethal in front of goal, bro.
Nah, he's
Like
not.
he needs to be more lethal. But I think he's a crucial part of the team, though. Like you cannot not defend Timo Werner. You know, like
you cannot not defend.
Yeah.
Pulisic is a beast, though. I always like tempered my expectations with him because he's an American player, and we're so used to like.
I think everybody feels like that still. Like even
I
even
don't
over
think,
there.
I don't even think we like. I think he's progressed to a point like where you don't need to like be cautious about him anymore. He's doing that shit league. He's doing that shit Champions League against like top European teams. I'm impressed. I'm impressed with that kid, especially
Yeah, but I think
if he can stay healthy.
the fact that he's American, though, I think people will always overlook him, no matter how good he is. It's like,
You guys think that Champions League final is going to be boring?
No,
I
don't think so.
No.
It's gonna be good.
I think all the pressure falls on City.
Oh yeah,
1,000%. Hell yeah.
And I
Chelsea's-
think that's gonna make it good, right? I'm curious as to how Pep approaches this game. Is he gonna go all like, we're gonna go balls out and win this shit, or is he gonna he might overthink it and be a little too cautious? I don't know.
Listen,
I don't
listen, dog. You're gonna eat your words. That's it. You're
No,
gonna eat your words,
I'm
my guy.
not, that's
You're gonna
fine.
eat your words, my guy.
I said, right, Pep needs to win it for me to think that he's the best coach of all time. And if he wins it with City, I'll give it to him. You know, it still took him 10 years and like $1 billion in transfers to do it. So be it. But if he wins it, he wins it.
You could add all the asterisks you want, though. You could add all the asterisks there.
That's fine. That's what I'm telling you. If he wins it, I'll give it to him.
Yeah,
100%. I'll give it to
all
him.
of them.
I'll give it to him.
I don't think you have a choice.
Yeah,
I don't think you have a choice, my guy. You're gonna eat your
right?
words. You don't have a
Exactly,
choice,
right?
dog. You're not giving him shit.
Exactly.
He's making you eat your words.
10 years
You-
and $1 billion later, he gets another Champions League final.
add all the asterisks you
That's
want.
fine. That's
And
fine.
all that
But
stuff, you
we'll
still
never
gotta eat them
agree
all.
to this shit.
You still gotta
That's
eat it all.
fine.
Listen,
And
you
if he
said
loses, what?
on
And if he
this
loses?
spot, shit.
And if he loses,
He's still the best. He's still the best coach in my opinion. But you're gonna eat your words.
okay, so
You're gonna
That's
eat
fine.
your words. You're gonna
that's
eat your words.
okay.
Bro.
I'll eat my words. Dog.
You're gonna
I'll
your
eat my
words,
words.
dog.
Y'all chilling? Y'all cool?
You want some of this too?
chilling.
You want to get in
I'm
here
happy,
too? Come
bro.
on. With your trash ass Real Madrid, dog. You know
I-
we gotta be Chelsea, dog.
Watch this
All I'm worried
weekend.
about is the LA Galaxy. I don't know what the fuck.
I took no L's this weekend, bro. Like no L's. I made some money. My G's won. Atleti are still top of the league. Racing whooped weak ass San Lorenzo on the weekend. So I'm chilling, bro. I took no
You know
L's
what?
this
You
weekend.
can't even say that though. That's not like a jab or anything because I tell you
I
was
know,
like a
baby.
year
I
ago?
look. You were on
It's
your
like-
phone, and as soon as it said San Lorenzo, you looked up at me on the camera. So that's all I wanted to see. That's all I
Yeah,
wanted to see.
Got him.
because it's so disappointing, bro. It's
Hey, baby, no L's
What's
this
that about?
weekend.
I fucks with that Mystic Monster Night.
Bro,
right. Though, you know what? I ain't
tough
from
name.
Wales, so it's not my shit. You know, fuck Arsenal. I ain't from London either. You know, I'm just from LA, bro. You know, now I'm from Carson. Fuck that. Like, birth certificate says Carson with the Z. Yeah, so fuck everything else.
How about Arsenal? Let's talk about Arsenal for a second, though, man.
They got a dub, baby.
Why, bro?
I want Arteta out, though. I'm gonna Arteta out mode, though.
Are you really?
I'm Arteta out mode.
not.
Why, bro? You gotta give him time, dog.
Not just that, dude. Fuck those pussy ass players, bro. Straight up.
That's accurate.
Straight up. Like
You remember what you just said yesterday? You remember what you said yesterday?
about stairs?
Yeah, about not about always talking about what they do in the field and not who they are president. But yeah, go ahead, go for it. No, I hear you this one. I hear you this one though. I hear you this one though, man.
Like, are you gonna tell me that? You know what? I don't want to. No. I'm in a good state of,
that. Yeah.
I'm in a good state of mind. Galaxy is life. It's always been life. I'm not from London. All right, London is blue. Chelsea. So, no, I'm not gonna go down this. No, if you want to talk about it, go ahead. I'll listen. Like Masa tried to put me with that San Lorenzo, so I just wanted to go out there on record to say.
I just wanted you to pay attention to the camera, though. That's why I said.
Nah, I'm listening.
I wouldn't have.
You guys' conversation is entertaining. I'm listening. I'm listening to what you guys are saying about Chelsea and
nobody talks
City.
about Argentina.
It's good. It's good conversation. It's good. But San Lorenzo, bro, what I tell you when they got those brothers, bro? I tell you they're overrated. They're whack as fuck.
I still think you're tripping, bro. Oscar Romero's legit.
They're not all that, bro. They're not all that.
On a better system, bro.
They're not
better coaching,
bro. They wouldn't even make Galaxy better. That's how trash I think they are. I don't like them for shit. They're ass, straight ass. But whatever. That's the shit I gotta deal with. Actually, no, I don't. I'm not from Argentina. I'm not from
Carson,
London.
baby.
I'm not from England. No, this is Carson with the Z, baby. Carson
boys.
Carson boys.
Let's go.
Yeah, boys with the Z at the end. All types. Yeah, fuck that, bro. I ain't gonna deal with that negativity. Fuck out of here with that. No, I'm going back to quiet mode.
I fuck with that though, man.
We finally got him shut up, dog. All we had to do was bring up San Lorenzo.
You bring up San Lorenzo in Arsenal, just shut up, dog. Hey, there you go. That's the key. Anybody want to shut up, Angel? Just bring that up, and we can see that.
I'm sorry, Angel. You're in a cross path right now where I just been talking shit all weekend.
Fucking pieces of shit, bro. How you gonna let Tuca go with a fucking L to Atlas, dog? His last game as manager.
Why was that? Why is that? I saw that someone posted it and I don't keep up with it, but I know Tuca's a fucking goat. Why did they let him go?
7 years, kind of like the Arsene Wenger shit. You know, after a while, it's just.
But he's been successful though. Like that bugged me out.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That bugged me out.
I mean,
I thought he wanted to step down. They let him go.
Like, yeah, from my understanding, it was kind of a mutual thing. But you want to know what I think it is? And
it's the new GM. It's the new GM.
But you know what I think it is? It's just that move for Herrera, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's that move for Herrera. Yeah, I think it's that. Yeah, that's got to be it.
So
that's crazy, though.
I think that's gonna be it.
What I was hearing is that the new GM or whatever title he has came in with that intention, saying, "Hey, I think for the next phase of Tigres, he should be the guy." And Tuca has gone through like a surgery or whatever, so like most of the season he was like not really like on the sidelines. He's like been sitting down because of bad results. But like Tuca's giving them like mad trophies, bro. You know what I mean?
That's just bad, bro. Like fuck. You know what? Maybe he's just pissed that Tigres is becoming Marseille of the West. Like it's Tigres, you know, it's like Tigres, bro. Porque now Tovan, bro. Like fuck, what's next? You know, Drini up there too. You know, fuck, who knows?
Tovan's a baller, bro.
No, Benzema was Leon, huh? Never mind. But you get the point. Like it's for they went and got Tovan. I was like, what the fuck? All right. I mean, I fuck with Tovan, but but you know.
See, but what's wrong with that though?
Oh, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just crazy that I'm with you guys. Like I honestly think it's just an internal thing to go for Herrera.
That's
probably what it is. Maybe just the Tuca. Yeah,
I would not take Herrera over Tuca.
Never.
Herrera's good too, though. So I'm not gonna knock.
That's what exactly.
Herrera is good, bro. He is good, right? But I think like tactically, I think Tuca's more sound.
See, but let me tell you one thing though. Well, it's not even that. I think if you're gonna make a switch from, if you're gonna step away from Tuca, the only other option to go is gonna be America's coach, because America to me has been the only one that's really been, since Tigres has been that dominant power, you know, over the last 10, 11 years since Tuca took over. It's really only been America that has kept that consistency. You know, has been fighting for finals, for Champions League, shit like that. Everyone else, they have Rayados had their moment. they had their moment within that gap, right? Santos has had their moment within that gap, like within that period. But the only two that happened, the ongoing constants, have been Tigres and America, and a lot of that was Herrera's doing. So I think if that's the case, shit, might as well go for the other guy that was giving that type of consistency to America during that time. I think he'll make the right moves for Tigres.
Yep. And with that being said, it's another episode of Desde las Gradas MX.
Liga MX edition.
Yeah, MX. Yeah, Liga MX edition.
All right, but let's get kick into the actual show.
Damn it, fuck. I guess you even got to bring that shit up too. Goddamn.
I'm sorry, Bubby.
Yo, what up? And welcome to another episode of Straight from the Stands, an unapologetic, unofficial LA Galaxy podcast, hosted by 4 my supporters who bring you their thoughts and views on everything related to LA Galaxy, straight from the stands. I am your co-host Smarts, alongside the always angry Angel, his counterpart level-headed George, and the man with the facts.
Damn it.
Good evening.
It was fine. Why are you guys gonna do this, man? I was fine. I was good. Fuck, you guys are assholes. Fuck.
Oh shit. What up, yo? How you guys doing? Angel, let me start off with you. How you doing today, though?
I was doing great, fantastic. I rewatched this game like 100 times now. So good, man. I was doing good until you fucking assholes want to start bringing up other shit. That's irrelevant. Like, I'm not even from Monterrey. I'm not even from Boedo, bro. I'm not even from London. Like, no, like, fuck out of here with that, bro. Yeah, I don't do that. I'm River as fuck, bro. I'm Cruz Azul as fuck. They're in first, right? They're in first, Cruz Azul. And then I'm Chelsea as fuck, bro. So that's where it's at. Like, I'm happy. All types are happy. All types are happy.
George, how you doing, Papa?
I feel amazing. I feel really good. Oh shit.
Masa, I know you got some money in your pocket. How you doing?
I got money in my pocket. I've been unloading clips all day, dog. Just talking mad shit all weekend. Like, I'm in a great mood, dog. That shit is hilarious to me.
Let's go.
How you feeling, Rudy?
I'm good. I'm good, man. I'm good. I got a secondhand GPU today after homie Rooney.
Hey, you
yeah. I ain't gonna deny it. I won't fight it. I won't fight that.
I was on my way, dog, to test run that shit. And this Rooney's like, yeah, he picked it up. I was like, oh damn, that never gets out, dog. I would have sworn I had at least a cool month.
Nope. I got the GPU, dog.
I was like, he got out the house?
He got out the house?
I got the GPU, baby. So
it's funny.
We're running it now. It feels good. It's giving me better. Yeah. So I'm not gonna go in. It's not tech shop. All right. I'm doing good. The G's won. I got a GPU. Everything's gravy. Let's get right into it. Not a lot of news, but I'll tell you the one thing.
There's news.
Rumor? What you mean, bro?
There's news.
Massive rumors.
I seen what's his name? I seen what's his name at the game on Saturday.
Kevin.
Kevin.
So now we I think we all knew already, but it's been confirmed. My man's here. Just I guess, and he's out at the crib. So I'm assuming his
he was with Grand Sear today at the Rodeo Drive. So
that's right, they were, huh?
Ooh,
yeah,
he's spending that young DP money, baby.
Mm-hmm.
The wire hit.
Also means he should be in training, right? And should be expecting to see him on the pitch pretty soon, which I'm kind of hyped about. I'm hyped about that.
Pumped.
So yeah,
now we're gonna start seeing him on the pitch since he's been out. I'm sure the media teams are okay to just put him out there now.
Yeah. No, I'm hyped. He should be the missing link, right? He should be the one player like that's gonna make a difference. So I'm kind of excited to see if he lives up to that. All right, let's talk about news. What else we got?
We got rumor.
All right,
big one, bro.
Talk to me.
Yeah, go ahead, Masa. Hit him with it.
So there's a rumor came out early today in the morning, bro. I was just browsing through my phone. Ryan Ravelson, a 24-year-old midfielder from Troyes who just won the Ligue 2, and they just got promoted to Ligue 1. And he's out of contract apparently, and I don't know if he chose not to renew or they didn't offer renewal. And supposedly the G's already offered him a 3-year contract, and it looks very likely that he is going to sign with the G's.
Excuse me.
Yo, we're talking about Tigres being Marseille, like we got we're getting a lot of Frenchmen out here too.
Oh, he's not French though. He's from Madagascar, I think.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
But
1 or 2.
The fucking Penguins, bro.
I think he's from Madagascar. I don't know. Let me
Yikes,
check.
No, I think from what I saw, I think he has multiple nationalities, but he's French. But I think of Madagascar descent, I guess, or parents, something like that. What I saw.
Yeah, but I mean, or I guess what a better thing to say is like we're kind of rating that League Two, League Two.
Yeah, we are
Ligue
Ligue 2.
I'll take
We're rating it, which I'm not mad about, man. We've been asking for some new players. You know what I mean? Some players who are maybe not, not old and trusted, right? Like it's just more new and looking for the right characteristics in the players. So I'm excited for that. And we'll see what comes out because I know Masa, you posted the link, and that link was straight from France, right? Like because it was French copy.
Oui, c'est français.
So again, man, and to be honest, like the news outlets in France, or at least like they've been on point when it comes to like transfers with the G's, right? Like Grandier, fucking and Cabral, like, even fucking Sega, like they if we get this coming back, we get.
There's two things though. I want to talk about this cat real quick. And to be quite honest, I haven't looked much into him. I am aware of Troy a little bit because of FFO. There's a team there. We actually have that team in FFO. It's like, oh, I know them. But two things. One, from what I understood from the article, and to my defense, if this is wrong, I didn't really bother to fully, dissect the French because it's been several years. But from what I kind of understood is that it's not that this team Troy didn't want him to go with them up to the first division, to Ligue 1. It's more so that he was interested or I don't know if swayed by Vanney, because I don't know if there was a conversation, like what the conversation may have been, especially if it was a French thing. But it seemed like he was more interested in making the move to LA based on the project at hand, right? Of that 3-year plan with the Galaxy and what that may look like. Obviously, maybe with the idea of Cabral with Ganser and Koulibaly already in the mix. And it should fucking add Clayton for that, just the fact that he speaks French, right? That's probably enticing to a certain degree. Maybe that's probably what swayed him. Hey, I'm gonna be with Troy in the first division in Ligue 1, and we're gonna get thumped by Monaco. We're gonna get thumped by PSG, by Lyon, by Marseille. Saint Etienne. They're all gonna just why?
Dang, dog, you forgot about Lille, like that.
Yeah,
Lille's in first. Yeah,
Lille's first. Put some respect on it.
All right, fine, Lille. Nantes, whatever, all of them, fuck it. But you get the point, right? If that's the case, it's kind of what we talked about a few episodes back. I think it might have been George or Rudy that you guys mentioned. Is like it's attractive, right? If you're one of these Ligue 2 players, you're coming to this market here in LA. You have a 3-year plan. At least you have a guarantee that one, you're gonna get that ESPN time, that world viewing time. Shit, I mean, it's just that market, right? You're in LA and everyone's watching this game. Exactly, the exposure. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you. The exposure that you're gonna have not only here domestically in the United States, but internationally, because teams are watching, right? And for example, that game against New York Red Bulls. Let's say they're not watching the Galaxy. They were watching. Maybe some European teams are watching because of Caden Clark. Guess what? It might be Koulibaly all over again, where hey, Greg Vanney's watching instead of one player, but instead he got this other play out of it. Yeah. That could be the case for our players. Yeah. So that's one.
Also, like it reminds me of when we got the Brazilian influx and how well that worked for us, right? Like they brought in a bunch of Brazilians and they kind of meshed. Not all the players were great, but the players meshed and they became, they formed that bond because of that. And we're definitely going to see that. I'm pretty sure with all the French guys coming over, or at least the French speaking guys, right? Because again, I don't know his nationality or whatever. But again, like that's worked out for us in the past, right? Where we bring in a core group of players from or speak at least the same language and kind of helps out. So I'm hoping they can do it again. And again, I'll say this one more time. I'm really excited. I'm really excited that the boys are young, man. What we're bringing in, they're young, right? So like, it's definitely what you said about like it's a project and not just necessarily a bringing in players to fill in gaps right now.
Yeah, and the second part that I want to ask this question, I'm curious what you guys think, right? And what do you guys think Greg Vanney is thinking? From my understanding, he's coming in as a CDM or potential just true CM type of role, but CDM is where he seems to I don't know. I mean, I guess that's his role. From what I've understood, that he's CDM, right? And maybe apparent by his numbers because he doesn't have a whole lot of assists, he doesn't have a whole lot of goals, but he has the appearances. So that must speak to something. The fact that Troy is in, obviously in first, they ended up first in Ligue 2. What do you guys think? I mean, what does that What does that say for Saldana? What does that say for Harvey? And what does it say in general as a whole for the squad? That we're talking about having this guy come in, potentially be a starter. Which, if that's the case, what does that mean with Vasquez? What does that mean with Jet? What does that mean with Jonah? I have my theory, but I want to know what you guys think.
So for me, is what I've been saying like the last few weeks, right? Like is giving our attackers the fluidity to kind of move around, right? We already see like, a lot of the work that you're describing that my man's coming to do is what Jordan doing right now, right? Like where he's doing a lot of the dirty work of tracking back, trying to cut the passing lanes, getting in tackles, intercepting passes. And you need that so you let your Vasquez move from side to side. You let your striker drop down and pick up a ball and make up a run. You allow that flexibility by having the two pivots, which in my opinion, like one's gonna be Jonah and potentially my guy coming in, right? That's what I see. And I think again, I think the biggest thing that we need to do is make sure that our creative players have the flexibility to kind of move around, a la Vasquez movement.
To me, I think it's a long-term move, especially with the contract that he's given. We don't know how much we could get out of Vasquez. There's a lot in the air. We don't want to talk, but Jonah's contract is up at the end of the year. To me, I think he's just kind of putting pieces in place just in case things don't go to what we want, or just thinking about the future to what his style of play.
You know what? I think this is a player who could play multiple positions. If I'm not mistaken, I forgot where I saw it, and I should have saved it because I seen it. I think it was like in a team of the week at the CB position a couple times.
Oh shit!
So I think it's just giving you versatility at the CB, CDM, CM role. So that to me that's key, right? Because we heard Vanney talk about this before, like bringing players that can play in multiple positions.
Yeah, that are versatile,
and they could do it all. So to me, it's a positive. I know some of our CMs are like Saldana and Harvey are playing dope right now, or at least they're playing good and they're getting minutes. But I mean, you can't be mad at competition, especially when you're trying to make a run at playoffs and championships in the long run. So to me, this is all positive.
Yeah, and if we look at what we brought in, right? Like our in our backline, we brought in the reinforcements. Like the backline has options right now, right? It has options right now, and one more coming in. On the attack, maybe not the strike that we wanted, but like there is reinforcement with Cabral, there's reinforcement with Granzier, Vasquez, and the surprising Saldana, even Efra in there, right? We also have. And that's really attacking. And when it comes to like the two CMs, like really with Legit, who when you say really real CMs, it's kind of you're putting him in there because I always feel like he's a little more attack. He should be more attack focused than a box to box, right? Sasha, same thing, and he's not really fit to go box to box, so you can't have to count him out there. You have Harvey, which Harvey's decent, but I don't think like that's who you bank on for your starting lineup and you make a cup run, right? And Jonah, who I think is one centerpiece in your team. So yeah, I think that's where you need the reinforcement, you need the extra player. So I fucks with this move, especially if you could drop into CB too. Like that's dope. What's your thoughts about it, Angel? Because I know you had it before.
It's twofold. So you know how when GBS came into the mix, we were talking about the short term band-aids, right? Our Antunas, our Polentas, right? The short term. I think with this acquisition is twofold. One, George said long term, right? There's the Kleshton up in the air, there's the Vasquez up in the air, and what our team could look like down the line vary. Right, so that's one. Two, from a tactical perspective as a coach, if you're bringing in another player of this caliber, right? If we're assuming he's going to be on TAM, right? That's probably what it seems like. Another potential TAMable player when you already have the likes of Harvey in there, Saldana, who have two players that have at least played better than we expected, right? We have Kleshton, who had the veteran experience. Listen, even Efra had a solid showing this past game, right? Legit, Jonah, Vasquez, right? That's essentially what our mid consists of. Now adding this piece into the mix, if you want to change it up, let's say Seattle, because next week you have LAFC again, type of thing, right? You're not at this point. You're not plugging in makeshift players like what can I figure out type of things. Like no, you're playing potential starters against said team, right? Because these guys are all competing for that competition. Yeah. So if you're the opposing team, if you're LAFC, if you're Seattle, you're wondering, fuck, okay, who am I preparing for, right? Because Vasquez is giving me a different dynamic than if he's playing with Harvey and what's this guy's name again? Ryan, whatever it is,
Ryan.
right? Yeah, so whatever, right? So it's that, right? You're adding additional pieces that seem to be maybe potential starters and a shit ton of other MLS teams, perhaps 95% of the other MLS teams. Now it's not only an advantage to yourself and like your teammate, your players, everyone as a whole is fighting but making each other better. It's also the other team. They have to prepare for you now. And how do you prepare for the Galaxy at this point when there's all this versatility and all these players that can come in and swap for everyone else? So that's what I'm saying. It's twofold. For the now, advantageous. And if you're Greg Vanney and all of these moves work, right, and they bring fruit from the get-go, and two, the long term, like George mentioned.
All right, real quick, my bad. I can confirm last 3 games he played. Troyes plays with 3 at the back, and he was playing left CB as a third CB.
The only thing that concerns me is that a lot of the players we're bringing in right now are coming in a 3-year contract, right? And I did mention like the Brazilians that came in like almost all at the same time. We didn't bank on all of them, right? Like, there was more than a couple that just never panned out for the G's. I hope we're closer to like having these guys, even if they're not starters, like be usable because we can strike out on 2 or 3 of these with them being on 3-year contracts, right? Because then that puts you in a similar situation again where you have to wait out these contracts or figure out what you do with these players because you can't move because of the contract, right? That's the only thing that concerns me. But so far, like I don't think I'm disappointed with anybody he's brought in, right? If I just look at the roster and the games that we played, which is a small sample size, I'm not disappointed with anybody he's brought in. All right, even Grant Zero, who perhaps not up to my expectations of what I thought he was going to be for us yet, but still not. I'm not hating the signing. You know what I mean? I can see where he could be. I can see how we could use him and be better than what he's shown so far. So I'm just hoping that we bank on both Koulibaly and Ryan, and Cabral comes in and he's worth the young DP money that he has, right? Like that's my only concern. But I think the moves wise, or like in personnel wise, and the approach to it, I'm happy with it, man. I'm really happy. I really felt like we needed to switch it up and not just bring in a Joe Corona, right? Which I like Joe Corona, but Joe Corona like didn't pan out for us, and he was a recognizable name, and we knew what he was bringing, and that didn't work out, right? And I can mention like countless others of who are like these already known, partly past their prime players who never really did much for us. So maybe we bank on some young kids that develop into something with us. All right. Any more rumors? Any more news? Anything else we need to get into before we get into why everybody's?
That would be the second guy, right? The Vanney was talking about. Vanney,
yeah.
The mystery guy.
Yeah, the mystery guy. Yeah.
Because it was in. Sure. Yeah, Perry Kitchen, Logan Jones is Perry Kitchen. Yeah, that's another one.
And also to add to that, there's a lot of CONCACAF tournaments that we do miss out on players where we could fill in these spots. So I mean, I'm sure he's thinking about that as well, which is a good sign.
I mean, even this game, right? Our bench consisted of what? Sasha, Depew, Acosta, Dunbar, Efra, Harvey, Augie, and Fisher. Like, it's not like, at least, and I get it. Like, there's some injuries and some things happening, but like that's not necessarily a scary list of substitutions that you can make, right? Like there's an obvious step down when you see the players who are on the field versus who you had on the bench. So that works as well. All right, moving on. Everybody good to move on? Can we talk about this game?
Do it.
Let's go.
All right. So on Saturday we took on Levas at home, and let me start by saying this, right? Like I was big on saying this is not a real big game. This is not a real rival. San Jose. I gotta walk back some of that back because I woke up Saturday morning and I had the big game feeling. You know what I mean? I woke up and I was like, oh, today's the day, right? And it's like scenarios playing in my head, all that playing in my head. So I'm not even gonna sit here in front saying like I didn't think this game was gonna be important. I woke up and I knew it was gonna be important, right? Like I didn't even have to think about it. Like I just knew it. It's that gut feeling you get. So game day. Angel, you were at the game, right?
Yes, sir.
And then both Georgia and Masa, you guys caught it at home or caught it on TV?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So we're all there. Lineup comes out. So I'll tell you the truth, I didn't see a lineup until I was actually in the stadium. So I didn't really, get to think about it. But you guys, if you guys saw the lineup when they came out, and let me just kind of walk through it. Bond at goal, Williams and Steris in deep center back, Biafania out left, Araujo out right, Saldana and Dos Santos in the center middle positions, legit out left, Granzio out right, with Subak and Chelito up top. At least on paper, that's how we came out. Anything
That is
surprising?
how we came out.
Anything
Not
surprising?
even on paper. That's how we came out.
It is how come we, yeah.
Anything on the lineup that caught you by surprise or that you were worried about?
No, I thought it was a strong lineup, to be honest. Even though we weren't playing in that 4-3-3 or whatever variation of 3 up top you want to go with, I thought it was a very solid lineup.
Any surprises to not see Vasquez, both on the starting 11 and on in the subs?
To be honest, with you, I didn't even notice that he was off. It was already like automatic that he's playing. And then I started watching the game. I was like, oh shit, Zubak's in for Vasquez. That's what they did. And the fact that I couldn't tell because I feel Zubak had a good showing was actually really, really well. And my initial reaction with the lineup was seeing Saldana. I wasn't mad at it, but I was just saying, okay, Vanney has a lot of faith in this kid.
Yeah. You know what?
Go ahead. And I was gonna say, I was gonna shout out Corner of the Galaxy because he had Victor Vasquez on there on Thursday, and Victor Vasquez kind of gave you that vibe that he wasn't gonna be available for the game on Thursday. So
I took it the opposite way.
Yeah. Oh, really? You did?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I thought he was holding out. I thought he was holding out. I thought he was gonna be like, but he was gonna play. Like, or maybe because I wanted him to play, right? Like, maybe that's what it was. That's why I was like, he's lying. I can tell he's lying.
Yeah, but I wasn't surprised one bit when I saw that he wasn't in the lineup. I'd say I was excited at the formation. I was surprised that Vanney actually decided to go with the 4-4-2 from the get-go because we've seen him move to a 4-4-2 from, shifted from what he started with before, but we haven't seen him start from that 4-4-2 from the get-go. So I was excited to see that. All
right, so before we get into the game, let me ask that question, right? How do you guys feel about like the moving of tactics, the changing of tactics, which almost feel like game to game, like there's something a little different happening, or tactics change. How do you guys feel about that?
Mind if I go first because I alluded to it a little bit right now. In Vanney's acquisition of this guy from Troyes, it's that right? Like now teams can't prepare specifically for one way for the Galaxy, right? Because you saw it took us 10-15 minutes to score the first goal, right? And that was essentially with that formation, that 4-4-2. So we've shown now that although obviously that first game against New York, we changed formation, but you get the point. It's teams have to now understand that they have to change or not change, but they have to prepare not just for one style of the Galaxy, multiple styles of the Galaxy, and that's good. That's from tactical aspect. You're making the other team's coach really think about how he's going to play against you because now he has to understand Galaxy can come at me from a different. We can play with the one up top or with the two up top. So I like it.
In my perspective, like I asked that because I heard some comments about like we got to figure out what we're doing and then stick to it. Like I like the fact that he's been able to kind of move pieces around as he needs. And the team doesn't lose what the fuck they want to do. You know what I mean? Like they've been pretty spot on their intentions. And I think that right there, like, is super clutch, right? Because I know a lot of times you get set in a certain way because it works. So you don't want to move it. The fact that he has it working and he can move stuff, and maybe for us it's a little different because we haven't seen it for a while. We haven't experienced this in a few years, right? Like we haven't had something that's comprehensive like this. So, but I'm loving that, man. So I don't understand I don't understand some of the judgment of it, but it looks good for me right now. You guys have anything to add, Masa or George?
No, I think you mentioned the fact that we're able to play different styles and teams, and Angel spoke about it as well, that they don't know how to prepare for us. And I think the big point is that the players are sold on it, and the players come in and we don't miss a beat on it.
Yeah, 100%.
I agree with everything you guys say. 100%.
All right, So
So the
let's get
last
in.
thing, I guess, for
Oh.
those people talking shit, have probably never played soccer in their life, because that's why it's called a game plan. A game plan. Doesn't matter if you change your tactic for a specific game in terms of your formation. There is a game plan that your coach is coming out with. So if that means, hey, we're gonna play with the 5 at the back, but if you're telling your two extremes, your two outside backs, hey, you're gonna play in that wing back role, you're understanding that the tactic for that specific game is you're gonna have your two wing backs pushing up. We're on the attack, so it's basically essentially you're adding 2 more into the attack, and they're dropping back the same way Seattle fucked us, right? But that's why it's called a game plan, people. Game plan.
All right.
Throw it out
Now
there.
that we understand what game plan means. Let,
Tactics 101 with Angel Figueroa, straight from the stands, Monday nights.
let's get into this game, because this game got going quick.
Yep.
Yeah.
It got going quick, and maybe not in our favor, because like 3 minutes in, there was that chance. There was a chance that Rossi got that just went wide. Yeah, it got going quick, and I don't know, man. Like to me, it caught me by surprise, because I was kind of used to G's coming out and controlling the ball, and kind of doing their will initially, and then they kind of like drop off, kind of pick it up between games. But like for at least the last 3 games, I felt that the Galaxy had been at least with ball and possession more dominant than the other teams. In this game, I felt we lost that pretty quick. And it became a lot chasing them around. What I did enjoy was how aggressive we were defensively, right? I know we talked about it in other classicals, that we need to go out and be aggressive with them, get a couple fouls in early, because they don't like to get roughed up, and they kind of lose their shit when they do.
That was my favorite shit this past game.
Boys, we got some hitters, in the team. Like
every 50-50 ball, it was a slide tackle straight for the ball. There wasn't a ball that I feel that we could have gotten that we didn't go for it hard.
Yeah, I'm talking about like hard, bro. Like,
And it went both ways though, because maybe they were lighting us up too. I mean, that's how we got our go out of it. Yeah,
but it was a 50-50 ball. Like both players would go slide into it, and in the past we would see where a Galaxy player would kind of hold off, their player would go slide off, and they win the ball, and then there's a counter attack for us. But the fact that we were actually there disrupting that worked for us.
Yeah, man, it worked, but it got me nervous too.
They heard George say "punch him in the mouth," and he took literal.
I haven't
Like
said
finally,
that.
no, I mean they heard old podcasts. Like, who is this? They just randomly played one and punch him in the mouth.
There you go. Got it.
There
No,
you go.
listen, it's wild, because there was a play not too long after the initial Rossi shot that went wide, where there was like 4 Galaxy slide tackles, but no possession regained. Right, like where the ball just kept bouncing and bouncing, like FIFA. You guys play FIFA.
Mm-hmm.
You know exactly what I'm talking about. The ball bounced just like stupid bounces. I mean, with FIFA in real life, like it was just crazy. And that's what gets me nervous about that kind of tactic when you're going like that all the time, is those scenarios, right? Because once you slide, like, and you don't get that tackle, you're in mercy, because you're in the floor, and I gotta get up and try to recover from that. But man, like, listen, when you have a keeper in you have a keeper at goal that is gonna, if it's a soft shot, is a shot that's like, not a banger, like he's a good chance of taking it out, you could play that risk. You could do those risks, right? Because Bond early on, bro.
Sheesh.
Like, I mean, like it took goals away from LAFC. I'm gonna bring one up, and I'm pretty sure you guys know already where I'm going with this. Last year, I always complained about, like, don't drop the ball back into the middle. Just push it wide. Right? And Bond just showed you exactly why you got to push it wide. Right?
Mhm.
There was a shot that comes in. He gets to it, pushes it wide, turns, gets up, and makes a second block. He only gets up and makes a second block because it goes wide into the direction where he's diving. So when he gets up, he's already in a better position to make that second block.
Yep.
Then if he tosses it back in the middle, and it's basic stuff, but my God, does it look good? My God, does it make a difference? You know what I mean? Like
That's
that,
crazy.
that right there. Like I seen that in person, and I was like, yes. I mean, just everything right, man. Everything right, everything precise, everything with intention. It was, my God, and it's over. No, let me find out. Do you guys, on top of your head, know how many blocks he's accredited with? Because I know it was
I
like
think
5 in the first
100.
half. Yeah, it was like 5.
100.
4,
Give a fuck.
5.
He had like 16 by the first half.
Like it's
In total from the first 4 games.
yeah, and it's that thing, right? Like he has to like he's definitely. I think Lars gave him man of the match, and
Yep.
for me, that's certainly so.
Definitely so. Yeah, I agree.
1000%.
Like you and I know I'm everywhere. Sorry, and it's just a lot to talk about, so I'm everywhere now. But like Bond, like to me, especially like in the early minutes, man. If we go down 1 or 2 in the first 15 minutes, it changes the whole game for the team, right? Like you don't like the aggression has to change, your tactics have to change. You have to open up everything, and Bond gives you the ability to stick to the game plan. Angel, want to remind everybody what game plan is? No. Sorry, just kidding.
Game plan.
Bond gives you a chance to stick with it though, right? Because you're not behind the ball now. Like you're still on even terms. You're still on even terms. And again, listen, something I think we let LFC dictate what this game was. That being said, I don't think the Galaxy were ever out of this game, right? Like even with the lead or when we're tied, like the Galaxy was never out this game. They just kind of relinquished some of the possession and let them dictate what they're doing, right?
That's my favorite type of shit right there, bro.
Listen, it's just somebody who could do both.
It's dangerous.
Somebody who could do both. You know, because like,
but you know what?
This, right?
We're singing the song right now because we won, but that's a dangerous game plan.
It is a dangerous game plan, but I don't think it was planned like that though.
Yeah,
I think they forced us to play that way, and only because they were playing with 5 in the middle.
They started.
Yeah, they started with 3 at the back.
Mm-hmm.
So we were always outnumbered in the middle, and I think with that being said, I think that caused our right mid and left mid and the Jet and Granzier to track back a lot because they had to.
Yeah,
and it wasn't like I don't want to go there yet, but I don't think they had bad games either. Or I think they just had to track back so much in the first half because of that. We were outnumbered in the middle, 100%.
And it was everybody because again, we'll get further ahead. But we saw Dunbar like defending in their half too. Mm-hmm. Right, and we'll get there when top was the half. But we saw like it was a lot of that, and it's that commitment from the team though, right? Because there wasn't a lazy player who said, I'm a winger or I'm a striker, so I'm gonna just kick back up here, right? Like these were all going in and trying to get the ball back. Again, you can't like fuck Levas. I'm starting by saying that, but you can't discredit them for having a game plan and taking it to us in this game, right?
Yeah.
Like they probably were in the field a better team, but take that L, right? Because they figured it out. Let's talk about Subak real quick, because Subak, for all his like, I'm not even gonna talk about it anymore because we talked about a lot how he doesn't have the skill set to be a first team player, but yet
Lord Subak. It just had the Lord at the beginning. We get it. Yeah.
But yet super influential, right? Like throughout the whole game, a lot of the times, especially in the first half, a lot of times we found ourselves in any kind of attacking scenario or pushing them against their half. Like, is Subak really stretching the team out? Is Subak putting the pressure? Subak like getting wide, like super awkward way, but he always figures a way how to make the other team like have to check on him, right? Like in the chat they're talking about like they know they have to man mark Chicha, yeah, but then like you can't just forget about Subak because he's making shit happen. Like
especially now, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like I gotta give my man credit, bro. He was all over the place defensively, offensively, drawing fouls when he had no options. Like he was playing like that man is possessed right now. Like he looks like a first team player.
Yeah,
and that's crazy. That's crazy for me to even
yes or no?
say that. No, yes and no, bro. This last game, he did not make one bad pass.
He also didn't make passes when they could have been made.
Okay,
so
bro.
like
we'll get to that though, because
we'll get there.
we'll get to it because I feel like it's really people are shitting so much on Grand Sir and they're not paying attention to the work that he's doing on the field. But we'll get to that. Grand Sir, and it part of it evolves around Subak, yeah, because of that pass, right, that he couldn't hit. And it's gonna add a little bit to what I was gonna get to a little bit later about Grand Sir, but we'll get to that. I'll save it.
But to me, I mean, he looks like a first team player, and rightfully so. Is why he got the start. And
then
at this point, like I don't have a problem with Zeus starting. The way he played this last game, he played smart. He played like a veteran, and that's crazy for me to say that.
And I go there. I go there to just set up like the first goal, right? That play, like he originally gets fouled out left. Returns, kick off. The cross comes in. A cross comes in from Marajo. Like it eventually ends up in the right hand side. Cross comes in from Marajo. It gets cleared. And is it K on the ball?
No, Murillo.
Murillo on the ball, right? Nonchalant taking a little time like to look up and see a pass. He never saw the
I wouldn't even
truck
say
that was
nonchalant, bro. I think they just the
a bad
Galaxy
touch.
were so relentless to close the space down so quick.
Listen,
My man took a touch and tried to take off, and he didn't even notice.
We could talk about the whole team being. We could talk about whole team being that way, but let's talk about Williams right now, though, because
really quick, because the foul on Zubak, and this is one thing, and I've said this before about Leipzig's defense is ass. People are like, oh, Maria this, Blackman this, blah. That's stupid as foul on Blackman. That's the dumb. That's just being.
They mentioned it on the broadcast as well.
Yeah, okay. What did they say? Remind me.
That they bailed him out. That it was a stupid ass foul because he had no one there, and basically what you're saying, which I agree to. It's
it's a desperate foul. I think at that point it's just desperation. The fact that they couldn't get shit in the first 10, 15 minutes, and it's part of like that's why I've been saying for the longest that they're mentally weak. They could be good against other teams, but they're not good against the Galaxy. And this is what I've been saying for the longest. LAFC fans get butthurt that I say shit all the time, but it's facts. This is facts. They're mentally weak. And that is an example because that shows like, listen, it's fucking Zubak. You don't have to foul him. If you watch how he plays, just let him do his shit. Let him be out there. Yeah, let him do his shit out there. You don't even have to touch him. Just cover his space. Just let him be, and you'll be fine. But no, but pendejo. Man, now go ahead, Rudy. Proceed. I just want to throw it out there.
Two things, right? I'm sure Leva fans are upset at you for much bigger reasons than you calling them weak-minded. First of all, and then second of all, like. It's big games. Levas can't handle big games, right? Playoffs, choke. Against us, choke all the time, right? I said already, fuck them. But the thing they were the better team in the field, and they still took the L. They choked. They can't do it. Like, and you know, to everything you just said, like they had to foul them because they get nervous for big games, and you know that's nervous as defensive. Point is, that player was out. I want to talk about Derek Williams though, because like. He was always winning the ball. Like I don't think he ever had a doubt in his mind that he was winning the ball. You remember how I was talking about Kraniak like being decisive what he wanted to do with like attacking front? Mm-hmm. That's Derek Williams in the defensive end. Like if you see that shot from like when the shot is on Murillo and you see Derek Williams coming from his shoulder, just like 100 miles per hour it seems like, and then it slides in and I'm glad he got the ball because. Murillo would have gotten his ankles like broken in 6 different pieces. They would have taken out stuff from Murillo's ankles the way they took it out from Pavon if Derek misses the ball and cracks him. Because that full force and man, what I mean, luck, right? Sheer luck. It's a dime pass to fucking Chicharito, who's onside. Fuck you if you think otherwise. I don't give a fuck. He's onside. He scored a goal. It counted.
It wasn't offside.
Yeah, I didn't think it was either. It was tight, but I don't think it was. And remember, I said it. I said when we play Miami, I want the refs to give it to the attackers more than they do the defenders. So onside, and man, like anybody had a doubt that Chicharito was going to finish that?
When that ended the way I'm glad you brought that up because I'm gonna go back like 2 minutes when the Galaxy put a little sequence of play and Chicha turns at Tuesta. I knew he was on one. I knew he was on the ball. Yeah. When he like. Inside the boot, no, outside the boot, and it looks like he's gonna go back, and he goes forward. I knew, like right there, I was already all right. This was on one. He's on one. He's gonna fucking score today.
Yeah, listen, and that finish.
I love for you to say that.
That finish wasn't. That's not one of those blooper Chicha goals. You know what I mean? That's one of the ones where you think, okay, Chicha's definitely
opened up the hits, bro.
Open up the hits, gets his body low, so you know he's not gonna sky it. You know what I mean? His whole body's over the ball when he takes that shot. So he's like a proper posture to take that shot. It has force because it beats. I mean, their goalie gets a hand on it, but he's not stopping that. Like Chicha does everything right in the setup plus execution. It's on the pole, man. Like
Confidence, baby.
Yeah, yes,
Confidence.
That's it.
yes,
That's
man.
It.
Listen, and everybody was doubtful of Chicharito last year, and I was like, man, if he could get on his shit, he's gonna be dope. He's gonna be dope. This is what I was imagining last year, right? This is exactly who I thought Chicharito was gonna be. I'm a year late, but I'll take it. Fuck it, like, because this is a striker, bro. Like that, he's on fire right now, and he knows it. Like he knows that if he gets a look, chances are he's gonna put it back in the back of net. 1-0 after 15 minutes,
No, it was
10
like
minutes, 11,
10
right?
minutes.
11.
Just really
What
quick,
do you-
one last time though.
Yeah.
Fucking Derek Williams, that slide's gonna be
Yes.
ingrained forever in my life because that's probably gonna be one of the best slide tackles I've ever seen in my life.
So
I
clean,
think the
huh?
only
He had like
so
5 in the
clean.
game too.
Yeah, but that one specifically, I think the only other one that comes to my mind that's so vivid in my mind over and over is that Wayne Rooney with DC United. You know, like that last one.
and he
Yeah.
turns around. Yep.
Yeah, like that's probably just because of the setup to that, and similar type of situation, right?
yeah.
That's the only one that's as vivid in my mind right now. That's from all the soccer I watch. Those are top 2 right now that are so vivid in my. But obviously this one, the Derek Williams is. It's a defender, bro. He's a defender. And then 2, fuck, it's our guy, right? Fuck them. So, damn, man. I can't say enough about that slide tackle.
Yeah.
I told Eli, look, I made him watch it again, and because he likes to slide tackle. Like, if you're gonna slide tackle, that is what I need.
Yeah.
That is what I need.
Yeah. It again, man. It is so full intention of like
Mhm.
not going out there to crack him, but going out there to stop that play. Right. I don't think he in his mind is thinking like I'm gonna slide and give the pass at the same time. But his intention is to stop that breakaway. Right. Like stop that breakaway.
Yeah.
Make sure that play is dead. And my God, did he turn that around for us?
Did you see his reaction though? When
I don't
he
think I
saw that
recall.
Chicha scored? Oh, go watch that again. Go watch it again.
Was it
Like
amazing?
focus on Derek Williams. Yes, the reaction. Oh,
I
man.
gotta check it out. I don't
Yeah.
think I focused on that. 11 minutes in, we're up 1-0. I'll take it. I'll fucking I'll take it all day long. But I wasn't necessarily confident of saying I wasn't necessarily confident because. And again, like I've only watched parts of it, like on the TV. I tried to watch most of it at the game, but you know how that goes. I still felt like actually no, I felt like after that goal, Levas turned it up a notch again, right? Where
I don't know about that.
I
Yeah,
think.
like, listen,
think
I
we
might be wrong,
stepped
so I'm
it
fine with
down. I think we stepped it down, but to what you were saying, they choke in big games, and they choke against us. I feel once they saw that first goal, it was another punch in the gut to them. Obviously, once they saw that we took the gas pedal off, they started pressing and pressing and pressing. We gave them that.
Yeah, for sure. Like that part. Like, talk to me about this. Like why
George.
though? Like what happened there though? Like, was it just a team energy? Like, why did that happen? Because I don't think that was Vanney's move. I don't think that's coach's decision to get off the pedal. Right. And listen, and I'm also not stressing this because I think it's still 4 games in. Right. Like we don't have everything clicking yet. Right. So I'm not stressing like why they were changing, but I am interested in trying to come up with an answer of why like that happened because it's same thing in Seattle. Like at times we look better, we look better, but like we turn off, and like why is that happening right now? Anybody have?
Let me hear George. Let me hear.
I don't
Let me hear
think
George.
we're fully fit, to be honest with you. I still don't think that we're there yet. We see it in a couple players. We see it in Granzier, Jonah. We still see it in Jonah. We see it in Chicha, and those are players that I think we need to be pivotal, especially if we want to start attacking and always being down a team's throat. And I think it's needed. And when those players kind of take a backseat, I think the rest of the team follows, except for the players like Williams, some defenders that are still there. So I don't know. I think that's just me, but I kind of see fitness playing a role in it.
I don't think so.
What's your thoughts?
I think there was too much of them in the midfield. We were never going to win that midfield battle, bro. It was we were playing with the 4-4-2. We had Saldana and Jonah, and then Granzier had to drop. Ligue had to drop,
There you go.
and they had 3 at the back, and they had 5 in the middle. Like we were always gonna get outpossessed because they always had an open man, and we were and shout out to Jonah. I know a lot of people said he didn't have a good game.
Oof.
Blah blah blah,
That's hard.
bro. It's
That's
crazy
hard.
because the passing lanes that he cut. And the way he closed down every time Atuesta or K had the ball, Jonah was the first man up, right, putting pressure.
Listen, I'm okay with
So
Jonah grabbing him. Let me preface this, but I'm okay with him grabbing his hamstring at the end of the game that he's tired if he gives me a game like this every time. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it because I could physically see why you're out there and why you're grabbing that hamstring because you busted your ass. You were there. You were cutting out passing lanes. You were there slide tackling. You were there at whenever we needed to apply pressure, he was there. I'm the first to give him shit, but I'm okay with him, and that's why I go back to fitness because I saw a lot of players that were just not cutting it. Once we hit the 75th mark, and we'll get there. But when it comes to Jonah, I'm okay with it, and it's crazy to me to think that people gave him some shit after this game because my man played his heart out. Even without the goal, I'll say that.
We had this conversation slightly on Friday, right? But I think a lot of what you said, like, it rings true for most of these matches. Like, he does so much work that is never going to end up in a stat sheet, right? I think Masa, I'm quoting you when you said that.
We were talking about this on Friday, right? We went out, had a couple beers or whatever, and I was telling these guys,
I started talking soccer.
Yeah, always, because we didn't have a pod last week, you know. But I told against Seattle, I thought Jonah was, if not the best player on the field for us. Yeah. Cutting down passing lanes, and Angel was next to me, and I was telling Angel the whole time, like, yo, like, Jonah's having a game. And then, you hop online, and everybody's like, Jonah's ass. And I'm like, what game are you watching? What do you expect Jonah to do?
People are funny.
So,
Angel,
back to back Jonah performances, this one was even better, and we'll get to the second half later. But the amount of work that Jonah did and the cleanup work he did, and even the Grand Seer and fucking Legit, bro, defensively, like, it's crazy how people want to talk bad about Legit and want to talk bad about Grand Seer. Like, bro, go back, watch the first half, and tell me they were not defending most of the time. And that's only because that wasn't the game plan, but we were pushed back because we were outnumbered in the middle.
Mm-hmm. And to their credit, listen, Grand Seer, one thing that he's shown me so far is he's not really meant to defend. No. But how much have we actually played in the offensive half? And that's what I'm saying. People are giving him shit. Like, we've seen him already throughout the season, right? Try things with Chicharito, and it's apparent that there is a communication issue, that they're not linking, and it's going to come, right? Obviously, we understand that he only knows French, bro. Only knows French. Like, so that's big. I understand that when it comes to soccer, like us four, we've played for years, we don't have to talk. I get it. But my man only has, 4-5 games now with the team, including preseason.
And in preseason, he only played 25 minutes.
Right. He's been in LA for like a month and a half, right? Like, he's been with the team for like a month and a half.
Exactly. And I get people like, oh, well, practice. Yeah, but practice is different. Because at the end of the day, if you fuck up, it's not that big of a deal. You try to figure something out. We're talking about an actual game where one mistake is going to matter, right? Practice. So, right, talking about practice, right? So, and that's my thing. Like, people, and it's like the same shit that people are giving Legit. We're playing a lot of these games in our defensive half, right? And the games where we have had a Grand Sir on the offensive half, we've seen that there have been attempts to do things. There's just a lack of communication. Yeah. We haven't seen Legit in 2 games, right?
So I want to go into that, right? Because I think that was apparent that he had missed 2 games, right? I'm sure he's still practicing, but like I think he and again, I'm not giving him shit because I don't think he had necessarily had a bad game, but I think for me it was apparent that he was in.
Before we get there, then let me finish up my thought with Masa then about the lineup. I think that 4-4-2 lineup was part of the reason because you will see if you go back and you watch, you'll see that Zubac was dropping to help, but he's chasing, so he's rolling like a headless chicken. And even then, when we get the ball back, then we're really not in that 4-4-2 in our shape or whatever our game plan was because we were sitting back. And the other thing to this, I focus on Daniel heavy, especially this game. I can't believe people are giving him shit. Like, he was hitting motherfuckers that were big. People were saying that he was so bad, he couldn't connect passes, that he was. Listen, he held his own against probably one of the top 3 best teams, center midfielders, top 3 in the league.
Easy.
Right? He was fucking cracking motherfuckers. He had to do what he had to do to kill play. I'm not mad at him for his game. But that's where I do think our weakness was in terms of why that 4-4-2 formation was fucking us, because I think if we would have had someone like, let's say, Harvey, that's a little bit more physical and can impose some of his will, changes the dynamic a little bit of what those 3, center midfielders for for LAFC could have done that midfield, because maybe in their minds, like, hey, here's this fucking kid, let's go punk him type of thing. That's why I'm giving credit so much to Saldana, because he wasn't taking no shit.
He played a great game.
But
see,
like, I think that's probably what also part of the issue why we were conceding a lot of the ball.
So like
they held their own. Go ahead.
Again, Saldana's another one, right? Well, I don't think he had a bad game, but he's also getting asked to do stuff that like was probably not gonna put him in the best light, right? Like you want him to have space so he could connect like a really good pass for going forward, right? He didn't have a lot of space, and he was forced to like get in there and tackle, right? But like, that, I think our Galaxy fans in general need to kind of look at what's going on in the game and not what you want him to do, right? Because I want Grazier to do something different than what he's doing in the game. But look at the actual game and the spacing that they get and the speed of the game that comes by, right? Like you got to do what you got to do sometimes. And I think Saldana definitely did what he had to do, right?
Saldana did what I asked of the G's to do against Seattle, and given it's kind of a similar offense that we're going against, if you're gonna hit, go hit. We have someone. We get that yellow card. We have people and that's exactly what happened in this game. He was going out there. He was getting hit. He was taking down players. Yep. What happened when it got a little bit too risky? Let's put in Carlos Harvey. Mm-hmm. And guess what happened there? That motherfucker, he kept hitting. That's exactly what you got to do, and you guys hit it. This team is not good when they're getting hit on.
They're not.
You know what?
They shut down. They shut down.
Shout out to Saldana, because I know he cracked K a couple times, but man, he was all over a twister, bro.
Yeah.
He did not let it touch that.
And that's a good midfielder.
And without Vanney on the field, like you want to stop it right there.
That's what you're gonna get.
Yep.
Because not let it twist the turn. He committed so many fouls. It is what it is, bro. Sometimes you just gotta let a motherfucker know you're there.
Sometimes you're gonna win dirty, bro. Sometimes you're gonna be dirty, and I'm okay with that. And that's my beef. Like people, listen, I'm with, and I've been on here on this podcast, I think 2 episodes ago, saying where I'm not liking Saldana deep. I've said this before. I think I like him more as a true center midfielder with intention of going forward, switching the ball, rotating from one side to the other, like just connecting the passes. This dirty work, I don't think it really suits him. Mm-hmm. However, for this specific game, I don't know what Vanney did or what Space Jam water he took or whatever, but pre-workout or where the fuck he did, but
I don't think he did anything. I don't think anything.
I'm okay with that.
Like Saldana's, man, you talked about it. Saldana's IQ is top.
Right? It is, yeah. Definitely.
And he read this game. What do you need to do? Listen, Saldana wants to be on the ball, but Galaxy didn't have much of the ball, right? I mean, this game ended with us having 38% possession, 38.9, right? So 39% possession. Like that's not a game that's going to suit most of our players because we want to be on the ball. But he's smart enough to know that, okay, like then I have to be destroyer. Then I have to come in and do these hard tackles. Then I got to stop this play right here.
The fact that
man.
Thank you.
It's a lot to it,
right.
Man.
There's people think that there's only one specific way of playing soccer. No, sometimes it's not pretty. It's not. Nope. It's not always gonna be pretty. It's not. Maybe that wasn't the game plan. But they adapted to find a way to survive in that fucking game, and that's sometimes you got to win games out like that. Man, that's okay.
Man, you remember Seattle, Angel?
Yeah.
You remember Seattle? Yeah, man. Chips get one like that. So yes, 100%, 100% what you're saying. All right, but let's get moving. I mean, and actually keeping on us hitting 3 yellow cards in the first half, right? And all of them were yellow cards. Like there was no yellow cards. There was soft yellow card.
Which one was my favorite?
Hey, Chicha could have been a red, dog.
She was a little late on that. Yeah,
but he didn't go like studs up though.
Nah, yeah, he did. He almost pulls off too when he realizes it's late. Yeah. I think he pulls off a little bit when he realizes it's late. But you're saying
my favorite one was Villafana, though.
Yeah,
because Derek Williams goes in, right, ruthless, tries to take a Twister out. The Twister moves out the fucking way, and then a Twister follows through with the second ball. But Villafana let him have it, bro.
Oh my.
Well, that's the play. That's the play. That's the play that I was talking about with the
the one with the bounces. Yeah. Unlucky bounce, right?
Yeah.
Derek Williams misses the tackle, and then a Twister gets to the ball first. But Villafana is like, this motherfucker. If I let this motherfucker walk from here, it's probably gonna be a goal. It's gonna be 2 against no defenders because we're both on the floor, and he let him have it. Smart. I want to talk about Villafana though. His game, the first half for me, he was super solid, bro. Super solid. Completely different player from what we saw in preseason. Like, if I had to pick now, remember we had that conversation with Insua and Villafana all day.
Yeah,
100%.
Listen, Villafana knows big games, bro. Like he's not his first rodeo. You know what I mean? Like he's been here before. He played with Cholos and he played with Portland, right? Portland and Seattle, like every single game.
With Santos, bro.
Santos. Sorry, my bad.
How you gonna forget that, dog? Remember? 4-0, borracho. Come on, never forget that, bro.
I'll never forget that. I forgot him there, but yeah, forget me. But where I wanted to get is that Seattle. Like when Portland and Seattle play, like those are always matches that are similar to what we have right now, right? Where they go in, and so he's not shooken. He's not shooketh by none of this shit. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
like he's up for it. And again, I was excited to have Vanney when he joined, and I think games like on Saturday prove why I was excited to have him here. Listen, first half, it's 1-0. We have 3 yellow cards.
Before
go for it. No, come on,
dog.
hit me.
Talk about Villafana and Julian Araujo, dog.
Yeah.
This game. Jesus fucking Christ, bro.
Yes, listen.
Christ.
I have him highlighted because I want to talk about him. But let's start with this right now. Yeah, I remember a couple weeks back we talked about like Julian has his work cut out. Like he needs to like step up, and Fisher's here with the woo. Oh yeah, that part.
I think this game settled that.
That part
settled that.
Who's our right back?
Oh yeah. Right oh, I mean, yes, 100%.
Listen, go for it. Sorry, no, I don't want to cut you off.
No, go. I want to know you guys' thoughts on Julian.
Yeah, like so, like that was it, right? Like I was one that was saying that the Fisher looks good, and Fisher could be the starting right back, because Julian is young, and because Julian still makes a lot of dumb mistakes, and because he didn't look that good when he started at right back, and so on and so on and so on. I'm gonna eat all that back because big game, my man came out and put big boy shoes on and big boy shorts, and he played hard as fuck. He was focused too, like which I really like. I didn't see a lot of like that soft tackle that we talked about so much in just the game or whatever. I didn't see none of that. Like everything was like on point, super solid, and I'm gonna take you out. I'm gonna get the ball. Yeah, but
I might be highlighting him too much then because I'm not saying he had a bad game. I want to start off by saying I don't think he had a bad game, but I still think that there's some things that he needs to do, and he needs to focus on the play and see where the play is running to be able to step in, to do these Jonah type of step in front and not go on a 50-50 ball where the guy's beating you on speed. And granted, he did go up against Diego Rossi, which that you got your shit cut out for you. And there were some plays that I felt that if he could have done a little bit different, he wouldn't have been put in a situation where he was at. I might be highlighting him too much. You guys all have a consensus here that he put out. I'm not saying he had a bad game, but I still think that there's some things, granted he's young, that he still could do to keep going to one day he could be a $10 million player like Mike.
So listen,
he's a $10 million player, but bro, I think that this goes back to the old pods, right? Where Rudy says a defender's going to get taken at least once a game.
Thank you.
And I think it was like one time that Rossi cut in, took a shot, and that's the double save by Bond. Right?
No,
I think the goal was also.
The goal was on
Araujo.
Man,
but we're not there yet, though, right?
Hold the goal because I want to talk about the goal too. Like I don't think that was yeah.
And then there was one where Bond saved him out. He got taken down the line, and I feel if Julian would have stepped up a little bit more to the side, that would have never gotten to that play.
You know what I say to that, just to counter, and I think you're right, but at least this game, I think just to counter you, like I think the defense set the tone of how they were gonna play, and the 4 in the back stuck to that script. Like, you know what I mean? Like they knew they were going to be aggressive and they were going to go in for like every challenge they could. Like it was going to be that aggressive. It wasn't a lot of like track back and try to stop the pass from coming in. It was like get on them early, get the ball back as soon as you can. And I think like some of the things you're highlighting come to that. But I'm not upset at it because
you know why I concur with you, Rudy? Because Steres had a fucking game today. Not today, on Saturday.
Yep.
And hard, committed, things that we've asked him to do before that he hasn't done before.
Yep. Eye tackles.
So maybe that's what it is. But I don't know. Interesting, George, that you see it that way because, in my opinion, player of the game, if it wouldn't have been Bond, would have gone to Araujo. Wow. Based on this game.
Solid. Yeah. Like so, even who scored has him as the player of the match. Who scored has him at 8.0, and I think it's deserving. So
who scored exactly?
Whoscored.com? You never seen whoscored.com?
I remember.
Bro. Oh, so whoscored.com is what I use for stats because they have a bunch of stats that I use to kind of to navigate.
For sure.
But they have him at an 8.0, right? And again, I don't disagree with that. I think he was fucking solid as shit, man. More than solid. Like I think he had a really good game and gave a lot of.
Like Raul said in the chat, food stop pamping. and I quote, Araujo let his nuts hang this game.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Dog, sheesh in the stands is fucking amazing. I love it, dog. I'm only hate, dog. Like, it brings me joy when I hear it in the stands. Right? Early on, though, because I can't do it late in the game. Early on. All right, let's get back to it. Anything else in the first half? I know there's a lot to talk about there. I want to say, like,
back to the first half. Unpopular opinion, dog. I watched the first half again because I watched the second half yesterday. I watched the first half right before the pod. And maybe because I already knew the score, I didn't feel nervous, but I think we did a lot better than what people give the Galaxy credit for. I think LAFC did have a couple chances. With the exception of the double save and the Rossi in the first 3 minutes where he goes wide. And I think there's one more after that. I think it was a lot of possession without intent. And that was because we were cutting off passing lanes. Yeah, we gave up possession. I feel like they were the better team. But after watching the first half again, I didn't feel like they could win that game.
Man, again, I think that's some bias too because you know the scoreline.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, I know the scoreline, but like a lot of the chances that they had, like it was kind of GBS ball, bro. They were just crossing into the box.
Well, but I tell you,
and our defenders were cleaning up.
But I'll tell you this much: like I felt like we had a better first half against Seattle, and we ended up 2-0 in that half than we did against LAFC. Right? Yeah. The way we wanted to do on the field, like that's what I saw. Right? Like for my opinion, like in the game that we lost 3-0, in the game that we're losing 2-0 down the half, I felt like they had a better half. We won, and again, I'm not talking shit. I'm not complaining because listen, it's a bad half and we're up 1-0. I'm gonna shut the fuck up and take it. You know what I mean? I'll take that all day long. You know, we could just, especially for games like this, right? Listen, I expect that when you know a couple weeks down the line when we start seeing really where like, teams really are at. You know, I mean, in like the start of the season's over and like you're getting in it, and I expect us to kind of to be dominant against all the teams who are below us. But I'm 100% okay grinding out wins like we did against LAFC against all the teams that are top above us. You know what I mean? Like if that's what the LA Galaxy is for 2021, is like we're dominant against the teams we need to be dominant and we grind out results most of the time, sometime against the teams that are above us, especially away. Like I'm gonna be okay with this team, bro. This team right now, like man, yeah. You listen, you have to have a really good argument for me to take me away from thinking that this team is a playoff team. At bare minimum, this team is a playoff team already. You know what I mean? Like already, and I think it can only get better. All right, let's continue because we still got a second half to go.
Remind me though, for an hour. After we're done with the game, I do want to mention something that because we didn't get to talk about Seattle, obviously. Yeah. Because after Seattle game, I felt a certain way about our team moving forward that was only amplified by this victory.
Cool. Let's wrap that up. We'll wrap it up with that.
But I want to get you guys' perspective in a bit. I want to get you guys' perspective because it's really curious what your outlook is now moving forward for the rest of the season. I mentioned it on the Nag pod yesterday, and Rudy, I think we talked about it on the Borrachos chat a bit. So we'll get to it. We'll get to it. Just remind me though, because I want to get your guys' opinions on this.
For sure. So again, 1-0 at the half, in person in the stands. I'm not nervous, but I'm also not. I'm not putting three points in the bag already. You know what I mean? Like I know it's still gonna be some game. And plus, like if history tells us anything, like these games, they don't end. You know, they're not done until they're done, right? Like there's always shit pops off. So I was expecting some fireworks. And here we go. Right. LAFC makes 2 changes at the half. I don't recognize the players. I don't know where they play, so I'm not even gonna pretend like I know Marco Vanney. He plays out wide, so it's a defensive change. And Opoku, like I don't know if you guys know. I guess he plays in the midfield.
No, he plays.
He's forward.
Oh, this is what happens. So LAFC goes back into 4 in the back because they're 3 in the back. At times we look risky on the counter. You know, we didn't connect or whatever. But we were giving them some trouble. I wouldn't say we were giving them like trouble, but we were giving them some trouble on the counter. So they went to 4 in the back, and they kind of went into a 4-3-3.
So that's
and then at halftime, I think like we went back into that 4-3-3 variation as well. I don't think we came back out in the 4-4-2.
What do you think came up? So we pivot back to like that cam or whatever it is. Like
not necessarily, more like just like a flat 3 in the middle, and the 3 up top. I think it was Grandsir, Cheech, and then Zoo on the wing, and then we had a jet drop into the middle with Saldana and Jonathan.
Okay.
To kind of help out in the midfield. That's how I saw it. I don't know if you guys.
Yo, like it's probably a better view of it than I had in the game, so you probably seen that better. You guys agree with that? Like that
I'm
changed
good with that.
automatically. Like I didn't see it, so I can't. I'm not gonna argue it.
I think the player that you were thinking about, Rudy, that got subbed out that probably made a difference, if I recall correctly, was Palacios from LAFC, because I think he's the one that you know how they do the like the mid game, like during the game they'll have Greg Vanney talk and then the other coach or whatever during the game. So because I'm telling you, I watched this shit like 10 times. It's crazy. And when it was Bradley's turn to talk, I think that's what he mentioned. I think specifically that player. I've been like I need this from this player, and I think it was Palacios the one he actually mentioned by name, and that's the one of the two that actually he did sub out right from the get go in that second half. So he obviously saw it wasn't working and got it to work.
Yeah,
the right way.
So listen, talk about the second half, because I know they get on the board. What is it, like 15 minutes after the first half?
52nd minute or some shit like that.
So talk to me about the first like 15 minutes of the second half, because from my recollection, like more of the first half where we couldn't find our game. Like we were in the game, but we couldn't find our game, right? Like we couldn't. What we had been doing the last 3 games wasn't coming out for us. So talk to me about the first 15 minutes. What do you guys think about that? Like, just talk to me about that game. Anybody? Somebody?
Go first, Angel, because I want to see what you saw. Because I have to kind of refresh my memory because I saw the game yesterday, not today. The second half.
I'm gonna go back to the Saldana thing, and not necessarily because he was having a bad game, but he had to be more cautious at that point. Right? You couldn't go in with the reckless challenges anymore, or not reckless, but even the hard challenges with intent, they can get you a yellow.
Yeah,
and
you're
I think
half step late.
Right, exactly. It changes that, right? And I think as a whole, it changes your dynamic of that center midfielding pairing with Jonathan and obviously a Legenda mix. It changes your vibe and the way you have to be a little bit more cautious. So that's why I feel like we sat even more deeper, and we probably weren't as dangerous as we were in the first half, because we were seeing deep, sure, but we were like, I think Rudy mentioned the counters, right? We were Massa. I think we were. I can't remember what Massa said, but we were catching them. We basically were making them nervous with those 3 at the back, right? Hence why they moved to that 4 at the back instead of that second half. I personally think maybe that's where some of that issue was, and I think that's probably why Harvey was the first one to come in for Saldana in the game, and obviously shortly after. But that's my opinion, and obviously it's the ripple effect, domino effect type of shit, right? Because Saldana can do this, well, now everyone else has to put in that extra shift to cover for what Saldana can't do at that point, and it's understandable. It's you don't want to risk your team with the red, and I get it. And if you're asking Grandsir, and this is again part of the reason why people are giving Grandsir shit, but now Grandsir has to exert more himself defensively. Zupa has to exert himself more defensively. Leggett does. That's why at times you'd see Chicharito on an island, because the other 2, quote unquote, other forwards with him weren't playing forwards anymore. They were deep to cover wherever. Honestly, at this point, it was gritty. It was gutty. Let's defend. I know it's not what we want to do. It's not the game plan, but we got to survive. And sometimes you got to.
Let me just go back to a comment Glenn made in the chat, right? It says, come on, y'all. GV is a goon, baby. Got our players playing big boy ball. And I think that was it. Like, especially the move for Saldana to Harvey is keeping that same energy, right? Harvey's going to come in. Harvey's going to put in tackles. Like, no question about that, right? Like, whether they're with a foul or not a foul, like Harvey's gonna put in tackles. He has the body, he knows how to use his body.
So he did. He did. Harvey did. With that wrap around.
So Harvey comes in and I see the same way. I see it's not necessarily like for like, but it's definitely gonna keep the same kind of intensity in that midfield. It's gonna keep the challenges coming in the midfield. And now you can come back in and go hard again. because if you do get cautioned, then you worry about it then. But for now, like you're.
Look, is that before you came in? What's his face got a nice one last lick on Atuesta before he went out, and I thought it was gonna be yellow. I thought it was gonna be I thought it was gonna be another yellow, and I think that's when Vanney's like, all right, my man, I know I asked you to do this, but yeah,
cálmate.
yeah.
Take it easy, take it easy.
So Harvey comes in the 55th minute. 6 minutes afterwards, Levis get their goal. And now let's talk about this goal because I don't remember who was talking about it, but it seemed like okay, let me just say my piece, right? Like I don't know if it's a pass or not, but the way that the first initial ball gets passed on and then gets flicked on is gonna ruin almost any defense that it comes across, right? Because it's whether it's a pass or deflection, like the tempo is fast on that. Yeah, and the layoff is super quick. The run was already happening. I'm not gonna I can't sit here and really dish out the defense for that goal, because I think that goal destroyed, like that play. You see City do that play. You see fucking Chelsea do that play, because that's a similar Chelsea
Arsenal
play.
do that play.
This is Arsenal play right there.
That's Arsenal. Yeah,
that is an Arsenal play right there.
That's the Giroud shit.
Yep, Giroud to what's his name? Jack Wilshere. Come on, bro.
That's what that shit reminded me of. Not to that extent, but I mean, there's not much you can do, right? Everything is one time. Everything is like a hip at the hip. Could Araujo follow through better? Yes. If he would have done that, would that ball ended up in the back of the net? 100% yes, because there's no stopping that. Derek Williams closes that down, and Rossi takes the extra touch to go out wide a little better, and he puts it where he had to put it, and Bond got a hand to that. Like there's not much you can do on that play, even if the people were in better positions. Like that's gonna be a goal.
My one thing about the goal, and I'm not, and I might be highlighting it too much, but I'm not a defender, so Angel, you're here, Masa, you're here. I just don't feel that a player should be in front of you when you're that close to the box, because even on a ricochet and even on the bounce, they already got that one step. You're behind them already. And I think when Rossi gives that pass to Blessing, Araujo kind of drifts. Yeah, Araujo drifts, and he's kind of complacent. And then once regardless if it's about a bounce or a pass, he's now lost that position against Rossi. And I think that's a player that you always have to have, even if you're holding him. And I think him in front of you, he's already beat you.
Man, but see, like I think if that pass goes to Rossi, Julian's still in a position where I think he can recover and still press him, right? Like,
see, and that's what I was gonna get to, and this is why we've mentioned before. Like, listen, even the best outside backs, the best center backs, the best back line, even the best goalies, right? They have occasionally they're gonna get beat on one. We're like, come on, it's gonna happen, right? You get attacked so much, you take so many shots, it's bound to happen. It's how you recover in certain situations, right? Araujo, this game was solid, and that's why, like what George's saying, I think you make a valid point, 100%. But I think the issue there is, LAFC didn't give Galaxy a chance to recover. Yeah. That all it took to that one is everything that happened. It was just so quick, bam, 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 bam. They unlocked, because at that point the rest of the team couldn't back them up, and it's not like they were inside the box right away. It still took maybe 2-3 yards to get within the box and in the box, and then those quick touches. And like it was Masa that said that Rossi still had to give himself a quick touch to the side to put that in. Listen, it's an intricate goal.
Yeah,
a lot of one touch. That's the way to unlock defenses.
Yep.
And it's not a banger in the sense of, hey, it's a banger because it was a rocket shot from my side of the area, but in terms of team play, that's a banger. That's
the movement, was it?
A golazo, bro. And there's no other way of putting it. I mean, I agree with George. What he said about Araujo makes sense. Absolutely. But everything LAFC did, they just didn't give that back line a chance to recover. It was that good. And you got to give it credit when it's good, that good.
So when that goal happens, I'm in top of 120. I'm on top of 120. I was taking care of shit on top of the 120. I'm looking at the game, but I was talking to somebody else looking at the game. And from where I see it, I see where Bond's at, and I see the shot, and I thought Bond blocked it.
Ooh.
Because it kind of I don't know if it hit the net and came back up and went up, but I thought, like, when I glimpsed at it, I thought he blocked it, because I think even Bond was like he moved right, like it just kind of goes right under his arm when he comes down. I can't, again, I'm not. This goal is one of the goals where I'm not necessarily gonna blame anybody for it. I'm not gonna. Yes, obviously, every single time we get scored on, we could do something better. But in the scenario that would happen, in the way it happened, I can't give anybody real shit about it. You know what I mean? I just can't. It's 1-1 though. It's 1-1. Again, I don't think it's over at this point. Right? I don't think it's over at this point, but I don't necessarily think that I don't know where it's gonna go. I know it's not over, but I don't know where it's gonna go. You know what I mean? We seen how we could give up 2 goals in 10 minutes. Right? We also seen how we could come back twice from being down. So I don't know where this is fucking going, bro. Like, and I've been on the sun the whole day, so I'm hot, bro. I'm bugging because fuck, come on. You know what I mean? Like, is that thing. They score a goal. Greg Vanney wastes no time mixing subs. Out comes Granzier, out comes Subak, in comes Sasha, in comes Dunbar.
Yeah, one more, since we forgot to talk about it. That one run Granzier does before he comes off, where he takes off from the half, he takes the run almost at the top of the box, and he crosses it over to the other side. And then Zubak can't control it correctly, right?
Oh, and even after he controls it,
can't hit him. He doesn't have the balls to hit him. But you know what? That's what I'm trying to get to. It's like, well, Zubak should have done that. Listen, if Zubak would have done that, I would be like, oh, okay, this is just Space Jam squared level shit. Because there is no way in hell Zubak is doing this shit. Like, and listen, I give him credit where it's due. I would have been Zubak jersey if he hits that dime.
Am I crazy to think that he should have knocked it right back across goal, like back to where Chicha and where? Am I wrong?
The first touch fails him, right? Because he takes he touches the ball, but the ball goes the other way. Like instead of towards goal, he kind of falls back away from goal, and at that point he does have to put it in. But I think he looks up, and then I think he hit a bad pass. I don't even think he shot that. I think it was
George. Really? I thought it was a shot.
I don't think
George was trying to say something.
You don't think that was a shot?
I don't think that was a shot. I thought it was a pass.
I think you're giving him too much
worse.
Yeah, I thought it was a shot.
Personally, to me, use your left foot. You're a professional player. Even if it's a fucked up pass, I'd rather you use your left foot and try to put it around him. Listen, if the attempt's there, the attempt's there. I think a left foot fucked up pass would have been better than what he did.
Yeah, because I think the runners were on the other side come behind, and it's like
I just wanted to highlight. People talk about Granzier, bro. If Granzier hits that ball to Cabral, I think it's a different outcome, or to a more skillful winger. It's a different outcome.
But the highlight is good though, right? Because I think the pass that Granzier ends up putting is super dope, because not only does better control allows you to have better options, but even with a fucked up control, like there was the option behind, like that play, the way he puts the pass in the form he puts the pass makes the whole LAFC team shift that way and let the runners come in behind, like open space, right? If that's Cabral, we're hoping he puts it in better. If it's Vasquez, it's going to be a goal. Right, like so.
Really quick, since we're on the Granzier thing and we didn't talk about the Seattle game, listen, the way he brought down that dime from Efra, and people were giving him shit because, why didn't he finish that? Not only did he win the ball over the top of 2 of probably the best back line in the MLS, the way he brought it down in the class and still managed to get a shot off when you have one of the best goalkeepers in the MLS coming in, getting big and shutting you down. You guys are fucking insane if you don't think that what Granzier did there was on point. Like, if he would have taken the touch out and tried, take a player, cool. But then what happens if Friday does get it? Everybody's like, shoot it. Oh, he did what he could in that space.
So I understand, but we're going on an hour and a half. I'm trying to wrap it up.
If we're highlighting Granzier, there was one play that he didn't even have the ball. His sprint, my man has a fucking sprint.
In short spaces, huh? Like,
bro, what the fuck? I thought he was gonna win the ball. The defender had at least like 6 yards on him. That shit would listen. Get my man into fitness or use that speed at the right time.
Yeah,
I don't understand the hate on this man.
That part. Listen, that part, right? I've been saying like we got to find him in space, like not the ball at his feet. Finding his space so he could use that. Listen, with that speed, you get him in space. The first touch is going to be heavy because he's going to want to run, and he's going to blow past defenders all day long. We got to find him in space, man. We've only been finding him at his foot, like out wide at his foot. You want him in between lanes, touching the box. getting
Listen,
inside.
got somebody coming in that speaks his language.
Yep. I'm hoping that works. All right, but let's go back to the game. Sasha and Dumba come in. In your opinions, did these guys change the game when they came in? Did it change for the better? Did it change for the worse? What do you guys thoughts
I
on
don't
that?
think Sasha did much. I might be completely off, but I don't think he did much. Obviously, we know, so it's hard to say. But I think Dunbar just brought more energy. I don't want to say that he did something crazy. I just think the energy and that his speed and relentless to always go to that ball. I think that's what changed the game.
Spot on. I think Vanney's message was match Subek's fucking intensity, match Subek's energy, and again,
I thought Clester brought some colmillo in though, like some intelligence
100%.
because he earned I think maybe two, at least one for sure. Good fouls that should have never been foul. Again, LAFC being LAFC with being desperate. I thought he did a lot of intelligent shit. Like that's never going to be highlighted in the stat sheets that your people are not going to pay attention to because he didn't do the pass. He didn't do this. He cut out passing lanes. He was physical. He earned some fouls. He did veteran shit. Straight up, he did veteran shit. That's how I see it, and I am not mad at it.
El Cormillo for sure. Let me just address the chat real quick. The commercial underground says, "Isn't he supposed to be finding Chicha though?" And by he means Granzier. But yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Granzier should be finding Chicha, but if you find Granzier end line inside the box, the defense collapse on him, opening Chicha space up. Right, like when we find him out wide near the corner flag or out wide near the fucking the touchline, like. You don't need to shift because he's out wide, right? Like Masa Angel, George, you know this. What I scream all the time when I'm playing.
Let him play wide.
Let him be wide. Let him be wide because out wide, like, is not a real threat to a keeper, right? If you cross it and you keeper, you're coming out for that cross. Your defense is going to be standing in front of you. You'll be straight. But when you put him in between lines and he's dashing, touching the box, like your defense is going to collapse. And we see it over and over again. I mean, we'll talk about it in the second goal. But essentially, that's it, right? When you get him out wide inside the box, the defense has to react to you. And that's where you need to find him, because that's where you're going to find more spaces behind. All right, back to this. Excellent point on Sasha, because I don't think he brings much to the game itself, but he brings in that experience that kind of stops the game when it needs to be stopped, holds the ball when he needs to hold the ball. And listen, my man even tried to sprint. Right, my man even tried to get in the sprint. My man even tried to he give it his all, and I fucks with that. Like he can't do it, and I'm okay with that. Like I know it, right? But he tried. Like he gave his all to run as fast as he could. It wasn't very fast, but I fucks with it because I fucks with that commitment, bro. You know what I mean? I really fucks with that commitment. All right. So that's 63rd minute. The game, to Masa's point, like the game, in my opinion, is still heavily influenced by what LAFC wants to do. But never is it in the clarity that they want it. I don't think they ever had the way we see these guys break the other teams, or even against us in other times where they completely take out our
their
defense.
First goal.
Yeah. Again, that one was special, right? But even other games that we played against them, they figured a way how to stretch us and then get us on a counter, stretch us and have the defense pull and they get easy shot on goal. There was nothing given to them this game. I don't, and correct me if I'm wrong, because again, I've seen it in lapses. I haven't seen it, sat down and watched the whole game, but there was nothing given to them. It wasn't no gimmies, and they missed. They fought for everything they could, and they got one.
And it hurt them too, though. Again,
yeah,
we mentioned Saldana coming out. We didn't even get to really talk about it. The difference, and not the difference, the impact that Harvey actually was able to make because he was free to play.
Mm-hmm.
And also Jonah was free to play, and these guys can be a little, I'm not saying reckless again, right? But who was in the chat that mentioned playing big boy ball? We went back to it, and I felt that right when their goal happened, we were missing a little bit of that, right? If we would have been playing big boy ball, with the hitting and that colmillo and playing with that little extra, and people might not like it, it's not pretty, so what? We got to win.
Yep.
Sometimes you got to.
Overall.
If we would have hit somebody, right? If we would have hit somebody earlier on, maybe Araujo doesn't get caught in that position and that doesn't happen, right?
Yeah, we could, since we're on that subject, my bad, Angel. Back to Angel was talking about that ball where Araujo fights with I forgot who, and it bounces to Atuesta, and then Harvey's caught flat-footed, but because of the bounce, right? What does my man do? Chops him right then and there, bro.
Hell yeah,
I'm not letting you get through because it's if I lose, if he beats me right here, it's a dangerous position. I'm not gonna let him put me in that position. Tactical foul, smart.
In person, bro, I thought it was a red.
I thought it was
In
red
person, I thought it was a red, bro.
I didn't think so because he never like.
Obviously, you don't think so.
Because you never want to rip for that. No, listen, and again, I haven't seen that like on TV, right? But it looks like he chopped. He doesn't chop him all the way, but in person, it looks like he goes and he scissors him, and I like that's gonna be a red.
Well, he tries to trip him up.
Yeah,
with the first leg, right?
And he kind of gets caught, bro.
And he missed. So then he's like, I'm just gonna follow through.
He's like, yep, that's why.
I said Mortal Kombat, dog.
Yeah.
Bro,
I mean, look,
that's what made me nervous.
we did play a little dangerous because I don't recall 1 minute, but they had a free kick just outside of our box that looked pretty fucking dangerous over some shit like that. But yeah, but anyways, you were saying, my bad, Rudy.
No, so for that until from LAFC's goal until Chicharito's assist for Jonah's goal, the game again it was driven a lot by LAFC, but they would never really seemed like they were on their shit as well, right? Like we did enough to take them out their comfort zone off their game.
I think
that we managed that 1-1 at that point, right? My bad. Let me just roll it out. Let me roll this and then I'll let it go. 75th minute, we got to change. Seba comes out. Efra comes in. Again, in your opinions, does Efra influence the game at all?
Yes.
Yes. There you go.
100%.
100%.
And it's interesting. Like, and the reason why I asked this from like our subs is because look at the names that are coming in, and in my opinion, minor and major, like Sasha, Dunbar, Harvey, and Efra, all have impact on this game, right? Again, it doesn't. Especially when you take a look at what this game was and how this game was played, and the intensity and just the way it was played, like not games other than Carlos Harvey for me, like not games that I think these guys are coming in and making changes. Maybe Dunbar because he has speed, but Sasha, like maybe not it. He came in and he set something up with experience. Efrain too. Efrain, like other than the last maybe 2-3 games, like I've considered him a lazy player. Right, like I consider him a lazy player, so like I wouldn't look for him as a solution for this game. But he ends up being, in my opinion, having impact on this game and understanding the tempo and understanding the rhythm of this game to come in and actually not miss a beat. In my opinion, not
only that, like I want to add that Picardia, and he set his own tempo, right? So instead of always going forward. And when he did go forward, he wasn't looking to go at goal. He was looking for the foul, waste time. He was playing like a veteran,
and using his small-ass body to get in between players.
He earned a very similar foul the way Kleshton did. He I don't know if he was still on the bench. I'm gonna do what Kleshton did. Got fouled exactly the same way and just about the same part of the field, and I'm okay with that. I have no issue with it.
Yeah.
And that all has to go. Yeah, we have to give credit to coaching, and we have to give credit to like the practices, because like this is not something I would imagine Efra like one understanding on when to do it and actually executing it the way he does, right? Like he did.
Because it's like a relief valve. Your relief valve when you understand that it's the pressure coming because and I agree with you, and I bring that up because Rudy, that has to be some tactical thing that Greg Vanney has instilled because both Kleshton and Efra came off the bench and did something very similar. Right, so it has to be some coaching stuff right there.
When you guys mentioned that veteran thing, I was like, that's crazy. You guys mentioned it's a veteran thing. Obviously, it's a smart thing that Kleshton knows. He's been in that situation plenty of times. But for Efra to do that same play 15 minutes after, it's something that's instilled by the coach.
Yeah, let's go. Let's move on to our second goal, or the game-winning goal. Because I like a lot of this. I like a lot of it. And I want to start off with fucking Dunbar. Because that right there, my guy, surprised the fuck out of me. Like,
why?
It's because it's three guys. It's three guys. Like, not the fact that he's pressing.
Okay.
It's the fact that he's pressing to get the ball back. Sometimes you see players just press to have the pressure, so that they have to go back and give the ball back, or press just because the whole team is moving, right? My man wanted the ball back.
Yeah,
My man wanted the back. You know what I mean? He's like, I thought he was gonna go home. I think he's gonna grab it and go home because he wanted the ball back, bro. Like he really wanted that
I
fucking.
could go down the street and go home. She said, "Light, it's already getting dark. I gotta go home."
Yeah, street lights are on. I gotta go home, right? Like, dog, like he wanted that ball, man, and he got that ball, and he released it to Chicha, and then Chicha like,
Dog,
dog,
that fucking turn again, bro. Like,
yeah,
same shit he did to Atuesta,
inside the box, inside the box too,
inside the box, and then left footed pass into the box
Meg
without even looking, like just knowing where he was at, right?
just put it
through
into
the
danger.
legs.
That's all. That's what it was.
And it's crazy too, because like Cheech, like if you go back, right? Not only does Dunbar win that ball in a dangerous position, there's like the three people that he cut off two people's lanes, right? He's right on Murillo. Murillo fucks up. Dunbar wins it back. The one player on Cheech. When Chicha has the ball in the box, all four
Blackman,
of them,
right?
Yeah. All four of them gravitate towards Cheech, right? Judge just turns and puts it to the other end. And then Jonah makes a fucking sprint. Comes out of nowhere, bro. Like on TV, I don't even see him.
Yeah.
I don't even see him, right?
That
That would just fool. And man, shout out to Jonah, bro. This is a big boy moment, right? Keeps his composure. Doesn't even blast it. Softly places it in the bottom corner, dog. Like that shit.
Me and Misa were talking about it, dog. If I see that 1-on-1 and I have all that space, I'm sending that shit to the practice field. Either I'm burning a hole through that net, or I'm sending that shit to with Sergio Ramos penalty.
Listen,
Like Sean Franklin did.
Yeah,
Yeah, just let it rip. Yeah.
Let's not forget that Efra lets that go.
Yeah,
because Efra could get there.
Ooh, that was dangerous.
Listen, Efra could get there, and if he gets there, it's gonna be in his right foot, right? Like
I'm facing away from goal.
Where did we? I don't know if you guys caught it. I know I heard it somewhere, and I apologize to whoever I heard this or read it. But apparently, Jonah was like, "Déjala, way." You know, like,
yeah. On the press conference.
Okay, is that what it was? All right, cool. Yeah, the press conference. All right, cool. Like, déjala way, and then thank God, you recognize his voice. Because listen, I think you guys have seen me do it. I'm playing against someone at some switch it. Just scream the fuck just to do it.
Now you know the voices. You know the voices.
Listen, I've gotten away with it before, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm glad they know each other's voices, because if it was someone else, especially Jonas, it's easy to get his voice right. It's pretty, but fuck, man,
you gotta understand like the decision making on Efra's part, right? Because he wants a goal. I know he wants his goal, bro.
Yeah, 100%.
And he wants his goal against LAFC. Like, you know what I mean? His goal against LAFC, like, and he's an attacking player, and he's getting, he's gotten shit, as well as getting acknowledgments that he might not deserve. So, like, all that has to play in his mind, and the ball sitting for him right there, given it's on his weaker foot, right? To have the composure and to understand, like, okay, like, he has definitely a better shot on it than I do. Whoever that was, even if he doesn't recognize it as Jonah, like, if you're coming from there, like, you're probably gonna be spot on. Where I'm like going wide on it, right? Like, I want to give it a big credit up to that, because of that, I mean, especially
I think everybody in that goal, for the G's deserves credit. Dunbar winning that shit back. Yeah. Chicha for taking that sick ass touch, bro. How many times have we criticized Chicha, or he's been criticized for his first touch or his bad touch, right?
Yeah, what did he do? He touched left, and then he pivoted back to the right, right?
Yeah, like
and then he
like
dished out with his left foot.
He had a twist in the first half. Exact same move. And then he puts it on his left. He puts it into the fucking perfectly weighted ball too, bro. Away from the keeper. Like, it was a perfect ball, bro. And, knowing that someone was going to run in or not.
Just put it to dangerous position.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Then just the way that Jonah chases that down after the amount of work that he did in the first and second half, bro. Like, just wanting it that much, right? Like, fuck it. I'm gonna pull my hamstring. I'm gonna pull that shit. And I'm gonna score though, right?
Fucking roar of the
stadium.
Yeah,
a 25% capacity stadium, but that roar was a full stadium roar, dog. Like, that was yes.
Man, listen, I saw the game again. Like you guys, doesn't do it justice. On TV doesn't do it justice what that roar inside that stadium, the energy, the buzz, everything that happened. I mean, undescribable. I mean, the relief, everything. I mean, it was just all these things just happening, the manifesting into positivity for the LA Galaxy. It was amazing. The fact that it was Jonathan, who's never scored in that game before. You know, the LAFC game. If I'm not, he hasn't, right? He's
No,
never
he
scored
hasn't. No,
in
no, no.
LAFC. And not only that, to be the game winner. Obviously, in that moment, we didn't know it was a game winner, but it felt like it.
I'll tell you this though. I'll tell you this. After he scored, I thought we were gonna score a couple more.
Yeah, you can feel that in the air, like whatever.
Not because they deserve. I'm sorry, you're trying to cut you off, but not because they deserved it. Not because they deserved it. It's just like the energy shift. Like you felt it because like prior to that, like it was like B Block was still trying to do his thing, but like the rest of the stadium was like on edge because it was 1-1 and it wasn't like clear in any direction. Right, as soon as that goal scored, that it flipped the switch. Like the whole stadium was electrified again, and like they started pushing for it. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy, man. It's super crazy. Like, God, I missed it too. Like you have no idea. Like I missed it too. Like that part, like amazing. Yeah, 7 and then 2-1. Jonah scored. Both of the DPs are in the scoring sheet. All right. Kind of a little hush to everybody. Like if you want to see, there you go. They're productive on a big game. And it kind of both Mexican players. Talk to me about the end of the match though, right? Because like at this point, like I
just one more thing. LAFC defense is fucking mentally weak. So
we've always known that.
All right, so talk to me about anything we need to highlight in the last 10 minutes,
Efra.
12 minutes or so.
Honestly, after the goal, it was Efra time. All the way. And a little bit of Harvey too when he fucking does the spin move on K, dog.
Yeah.
Nice. That was
K,
and then
K
he
got
and
done
then
dirty in the last 10 minutes, bro. The last 10 minutes.
This was K's game, huh? It'd be last time it was Blessing, this time it was on K.
Not only that, after the spin move, he puts Cheech
the
dime,
like
on a dime, dog. And obviously at that point, Chicha was on a fucking island. He did what he could. He holds up the ball, play smart, plays to Efra, and that's when Efra gets that foul. Right? Yeah. Efra time, dog. I'm telling you, like that second half from the subs. Fuck, man, like it's everything you want from your substitutions, right? Play to the par, if not better than the players that come out.
Yep.
And then it's like,
I want to say something on Efra really quick. I've been his biggest critic on here, right? And I think rightfully so. I don't take anything back. What I said. However, I'm not saying he's gonna be a second coming or anything like that. I still don't know what to think of him. I don't care what happens with his career from now on. It's all irrelevant to me because of that Meg. That the way he megged Mark Anthony K. What made it even more beautiful is that Bob Bradley was standing right there. Did it in his fucking face. And Bob Bradley's reaction was like
Like, are you fucking kidding? Like, it's like he was beyond livid, beyond pissed. Like he was gonna turn to go back to sit down, but then I guess he realized how bad that would have looked, or I don't know. Like he just gave up at that point. It was apparent. That moment, I treat that a bit as a goal because it was even more deflating for LAFC at that point. That specific moment, that Efra moment, was as significant as scoring a goal on LAFC. Because not only did K just get worked over there or whatever, yeah, let it be a hot take, and I'm okay with. That's why, to me personally, with all that encapsulating, plus it's a sweet spot because Nate and Eli come out in the back too, in that little video. But but on the real, like bullshit aside, this specific moment is gonna be vivid to me, right? And whatever happened with Efra's career from here on out, I don't really care anymore. It's because these specific moments are legendary, right? These are players these are moments that make players legends, right? It doesn't mean that he's gonna be the best player of all time, but everyone's gonna remember this shit for the rest of their fucking life. The Efra moment. It might not even be the banger he scored in Portland. It's the Efra moment. Everyone's gonna remember that Maggie Mark Anthony K and Fun and Brad Bradley on national television. Just fucking amazing. Just to talk a little bit more about Efra.
My bad, dog. Just real quick. I'm gonna add a Mortal Kombat moment, dog. He took that fool's soul again. Motherfucker said, "Your soul is mine."
Listen, you know what's crazy? Because unfortunately, like we had technical difficulties, we couldn't record last week. But I wanted to talk about Efra last week because everything I thought about Efra, like a lot of it was showcased last game, in my opinion, right? And I want to get into because I think that starts the conversation. I wasn't expecting this from Efra, like what we saw this game, right? The hard work, the cheekiness, like to pull off that Chern and Meg, right? Like that I wasn't expecting. It just goes to show you that when you surround them with like one, a better functioning team, and two, like more direction, I think this kid is something, man. Again, yeah, like I'm not gonna go and say like I told you so because I'm not there yet.
I've always fucked with him.
But
I've told you so. I've said it.
But I'm seeing a lot of what I wanted to see, man, and I'm hoping we get to see a lot more throughout the whole year. All right, 2-1 victory. Shit was dope. Let's go into what you were talking about, Angel, because I do want to talk about that. I'm gonna set it up like this, right? When I was really interested to see what character we brought out this game, because the defeat in Seattle 3-0 sounds more alarming to me than what I actually took from that match, right? Because I didn't think we had a shit game. I thought we had like lapses again, right? We had 3 lapses against a very good team who punished us for it. So I was really interested to see how this team came out this week against LAFC and see if they could bounce back from it. In my opinion, just to answer my own question, like I'm fucking proud of this team right now because it wasn't their game. It wasn't the game plan. I'm pretty sure it wasn't the game plan they initially thought. And they figured out how to get this dub. An important dub, right? We're talking about we're 4-3. 3 games out of 4 that we've won.
Yeah.
That's an attitude change for sure, at least. You know what I mean? Bare minimum, it's a fucking attitude change within the team. Andrew, I know you had thoughts on this topic.
So after the Seattle game, both Mas and I were in consensus, and I think we were of the few that thought that we actually had a good game. Right? And what did we say in the pre-show, specifically leading up to the Seattle game? Seattle only needs 3 to 5 minutes to score 2 to 3 goals on you. It's how do you react after that first goal, right? And the fact that we conceded 2 very similar goals, it's part of those defensive issues the Galaxy have to deal with down the line and moving on. But it's unfortunate because those 5 minutes cost us the game.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That goal at the end, listen, obviously it's going to be the stat sheet, you get it, but we all saw the game. We know what
they got to do better too, though. For that last goal, I'm sorry, but they got to stay on top of it until last game. You know what I mean?
Agreed, absolutely, yeah. And I'm not, again, at the end of the day, it was 3-0, and rightfully so, right? Because you could have 2-0 looks better than 3.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt so much better watching our team after that Seattle game. I know that there were still question marks about New York. There were still question marks about Miami, and I get it. But Seattle, like I couldn't believe that fucking MLS pundits were like, "Oh, this team's gonna take a step back." Blah blah blah. You guys are fucking idiots. Listen, we went on this pod when we talked about where we think the Galaxy ended before, and what did we say? We put Seattle at the top.
Yeah.
As far as a collective, we said that they'd be number 1, and then we talked about where we think Galaxy would end up. We said somewhere between 4 and 5. Right? I know we put LAFC above, we put Minnesota above. And then that's where we had this whole conversation of where we'd end up, right? And Rudy, you gave us, you went down literally all the all the Western Conference teams. Remember that?
Yep,
right.
Yep.
So we put Seattle up there. So we knew what we were competing and going up against. So Seattle, I know this is a Galaxy podcast, and we've said this many times, we probably are never going to say Galaxy L just because that's how we are, right? But I think as a collective, that's fine. That's fine. But as a collective, I bring that up because post Seattle, I've changed my view on where the Galaxy ends up this season, long term, where we end up in position.
Also,
so what?
I know we mentioned 4 or 5, right? That's probably where we'd be. After all I've seen from the MLS teams, the Western Conference team so far, from what I've seen from us, what I've seen about Seattle, what I've seen of everything, I'd say we end up 2 or 3.
I'm not mad at that.
2 or 3.
I'm not mad at that.
Rightfully so, because we're only going to get better.
Well,
we're only going to get better.
Leading off of what you said, Masa and George, what do you think of this, right? Josh De Leon in the chat says, respect, but we've been there. Good start and missed the playoffs. Is that a plausible scenario with this team?
I don't. It's hard to say, but we have been there, right? GBS, we had like 5 first games where we
6 undefeated. We went 6 undefeated at one point,
or whatever.
5 wins, some of that. Yeah.
I just feel like the attitude from the team is different right now. And it's crazy because back to what Angel's saying about the Seattle game. After the game ended, I was chilling with Angel. We were drinking, and I told Angel straight up, like, I'm not worried about this team right now. Like, I know we took a fat L to the best team in the league, but I felt confident that we could bounce back. And even on Friday night, I talked to George. We were talking, and I told George, like, yo, I feel confident about tomorrow. Like, I don't feel like we're gonna take a L. I feel like we're gonna win.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't felt like that.
Y'all been drinking
Playing
that Rudy's
against those
tea, huh?
fools.
Y'all been drinking that Rudy tea, huh?
Listen,
Hey, what I
haven't-
call though? Hey, I
we-
called that 2-1 to you, Masa.
Yeah, and I haven't felt like that when we play LAFC before. It's always
Back-
been kind of nerve wracking, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
back
Fuck,
to
are we gonna take a
Hey.
L? I don't want to lose to these motherfuckers. This whole weekend, bro. When the week started, the next day after fucking the L to Seattle, I was already talking shit. I was already
Yeah.
placing my bets. I was already talking shit like LAFC's about to fucking take a L to the Galaxy. No one believed me, bro. Well, at least no one I was talking shit to believe me, right? And it's just it feels different this year. So third sounds good to me. You know what? Because another surprising team, and I fucking hate to bring it up. But you know what? I'm not even gonna bring it up.
Yeah.
Sounds
Yeah. I know where you're
I'm not
going.
gonna bring it up.
Let's not-
I'm not
Sounds
gonna bring
like-
it up because we play them next week. I think.
Yeah,
week
we're talking
after,
about-
the week after.
We'll
I'm not
talk
gonna
this
bring it up, but I feel very comfortable that 3 or 2 is a very good possibility for us, especially because we haven't. Not all our pieces are here yet. Not all our
Yeah.
pieces have played yet, and that's exciting to me.
All right, George, what do you guys say
I'll
to
keep it-
any
I'll keep
or
it
all of it?
I'll keep it short. I think we still end up in 5th. There has to be drop off somewhere. Gold Cup is coming up. There's a couple things that are going to happen. It's really hard for any team to stay this consistent throughout the season. And I want to see how we react to when we're losing. I think we've seen it a couple of times, especially with the Miami game. The Seattle game didn't help us, but we even collectively, when me and Masa were talking on Friday, we're not mad at it because we lost to the most consistent, one of the best teams in the MLS. So you can't, you have to take that L with a grain of salt. And
Yep.
I think hitting the panic button after that was a little bit childish for a lot of people to even think that way, because we lost to a good team, a team that knew how to turn it up with 2 or 3 moments of brilliance, and then that's it. And I'm okay not being able to kind of react to that as right now. I'm okay to not being. If we get that goal scored on later on in the season, I want to see how that team reacts.
Yeah.
But for
Yeah,
now,
100%. And just kind of back you up there, like if you just take a look at Seattle game for the game itself, not the scoreline, it wasn't like Seattle outplayed us for 90
No.
minutes, right? It was literally like maybe 12 minutes if you want to compile like the everything. But other than that, it was a good match. It was back and forth. Galaxy looked good at points. Galaxy, got shook in a couple times, but it was a good match. All right, we got some questions. We got all that, but before that, I real quick, give me. I think we made it clear, but give me your man of the match, and give me 1 or 2 sentences to wrap everything up. When it comes to the G's versus Levas.
I'll go first. Man of the match, Chucha, goal, assist. Couple words to wrap up this game. Fuck Chivas USA. Fuck Levas.
That works. That works.
I'll go next. Jonathan Bond, my man of the match, kept us in it, and Jonathan Dos Santos is playing at DP level last 2 games. Unpopular opinion. I don't care what anyone says, bro. It's not on the stat sheet. Little shit he does, cutting off passing lanes, closing down the midfield. He's playing DP level, whether you like it or not. At least for the last 2 games, even on that L in Seattle, he was the best player on the field for the Galaxy. So,
Yeah,
Angel?
fuck yeah. Bond, gotta be Bond for me. He kept us in the game for sure. Chicharito, Araujo probably tied for 2 for respective reasons. I guess Chicharito too. For that. Terms of comments, you know what I said about my take. We end up in 2-3. That's how I feel right now, based on what we've seen so far 4 games in.
Yeah, for me, it's gonna be Bond as well. And you already know I'm a sucker for a good keeper, and my man's a good keeper whether he plays for the G's or not. Like he knows what the fuck he's doing. So definitely Bond for me, especially this game. And to wrap it up, I'll say this team has it. This team has it. They could play good. They could play beautiful, nice soccer, and they could also grind out wins. And man, that's
fuck
what I
Alexi
want for
Lalas.
them
That's what I want to say too. That's the other statement. Yeah, there you go.
All right, boys. Let's get into the chat. Let's get into not chat. Let's get into the questions. George, you got them up?
Yep. We just answered Glenn with one end. Give us your player of the match and why. LA Galaxy Outsider asks, where's Cuevas at?
That's crazy. I don't know, right? He should be playing for G2. He hasn't played for G2 at all, and I haven't seen my man Alcala either, bro. I'm kind of tripping on that for G2. So that's interesting. I don't know. I wish I knew.
Yeah,
Same.
me neither.
All right.
Sorry.
Danger TRL wants to go with, do you think we have fitness issues? I've alluded a little bit to it.
I don't think so. Maybe
I think-
on maybe one or two players, but no. We know Jonathan's issue, and if anything, I forgot to bring this up. I want to give a shout out to the physios, because Jonathan cramped up in Seattle, and this game he went 90 minutes, and it looked like he was cramping up at the end. Somewhere I heard that he was getting like a energy shot during the
he said
last
on the
game
match.
against LAFC, and he closed out the game, and it looked like he was gonna cramp up. He was gonna cramp up, and he still went hard the last couple minutes. So shout out to them for keeping Jonah healthier than he has been the last couple
Derek
seasons.
Williams almost cramped
Derek
up. His boy
Williams
did.
cramped up. Chicha looks good, like he's not cramping up, and my man left it all out on the field. So
Yeah.
shout out to them, bro. I think fitness may be an issue for a couple people. I know Jonah has cramping issues, but they're figuring that shit out, and I'm not worried about it.
Man, so I'm a little worried about it, and I think I don't think it's necessarily finish issues. Is the fact that we're going so hard for like 90 minutes, right? Like, and that's what's concerning me a little bit, because the longevity of the players for the full season. If we're asking them to go in this hard every single game, it's gonna be tough to upkeep for the entirety of 34 games, right? Like that's the only little thing that I'm concerned about. But again, we're missing some players, and I think we already seen it, especially this game, that our subs could come in and definitely play roles. So it's a knife edge right there, I think, for me.
Next question. Based on the limited games, who played better, Yoni Gonzalez last year or Samuel Granzia this year?
100% Grancier. That's not even close.
You know what? I don't think Yoni never got the service, never got the game style that he deserved to kind of showcase what he has.
Yeah,
So he never looked great. And I think Grand Zero right now is in the same boat where he still hasn't gotten the service. We haven't found them in the right situations yet. But I'll stick with Grand Zero.
Seen better
for sure.
Manny wants to know, are there any rumors about our next signing? Who will take Jonas and Leget's place during the summer? The Gold Cup is around the corner. We kind of talked about that as well.
Yeah.
And Danger TRL asked another question: Is a people rumor true from last week and confirmed, or is it a can't confirm nor deny?
But I think I talked about it like a couple months ago, even before the rumor was true that he was going back to La Liga in Costa Rica. So I think that's very strong rumors. Kind of, to me, I think it's already a done deal. It's probably why he hasn't gotten any minutes. I don't know. Angel, that's your homie. You got any?
Is he even on the bench? I
don't remember.
I can't say that I've checked.
No, he wasn't in the bench.
He was not. Pretty sure
right?
it's a done deal. He's doing a whack ass Vela, dog. He's on the move, so he's not playing.
It's all right. I ain't mad at it.
I'm not mad at that.
And one more question that just came in from Glenn. How we feeling about Gio back to LA?
What?
Gio?
No.
What?
Oh no!
Bring that motherfucker back.
No! Hell no! Get away from me! Get away from me, George! I don't want to hear that. All right.
Like his little appearance though on Jonah's page that he shouted out his brother, for the goal. Yeah, he deserved it. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that. I don't think I follow him anymore. Rightfully so. All right. Let me wrap up with just a couple things. ACB guys has their memberships up for 2021. So if you're not a current member,
G2.
What up? Oh yeah, you want to talk G2 first? Go ahead.
Just super quick. Keep it
go for it.
That ass whooping that they gave Las Vegas Lights 5-0 should have been like 10-0, bro. That
100%.
first half, I was fucking livid that we were 0-0 at the half. Second half, I'm glad they did.
Bro, fucking those kids play so dope. Dog.
And I was about to, and then
oh
this
man,
game,
that shit's
it's
so fun to watch, bro. Like
this, and then they just tied against Seattle second team, Tacoma Defiance, 1-1 at the very end, like off of a corner kick. Just a fluky bounce on I can't remember who was it. Was it Vasquez, the defender for Galaxy? I think that's who it hit. I could be wrong. It might have been Judd. I think it might have been Judd who it hit. But point it hit one of our guys in the arm. Some fluky shit. PK. Unfortunate the very last play of the game because it was already like 93rd minute. But man, let me say something right quick. We've been missing someone that can hit dimes off of free kicks since David Beckham. Am I wrong? Say that?
oh,
No,
you know
I don't
what?
think so.
No, you're absolutely right. I forgot to mention that. The one
George
thing,
Hernandez, bro. That's
Yeah.
back-to-back games where he scored bangers off of free kicks. The same exact way. You guys haven't seen it? Go check
Yeah.
the one he scored for
Versus LA
G2 against Vegas. Yeah, and then go see the one that he scored against fucking Defiance.
Tacoma.
Bro, bangers. And listen, these games are on ESPN Plus, man. These
Yeah.
kids are playing dope as fuck. You guys should watch these games. It's fun to watch them for sure.
Yeah, definitely, man. ESPN Plus is clutch for that. Like, and they're fun to watch. It's not like some. It is lower league, but it's not. The quality is not like that far
Yeah.
off. Like these boys are playing real good football. All right. Anything else? Can I go into my ACB?
Josh
yeah,
Drake.
news?
Josh Drake
Alright.
is, I think, above the USL level.
I like him.
He's,
Though. I like him
he's
a lot, bro.
somewhere in between the USL and MLS. I think
Cool.
if he gets a lot of minutes at G2s, I could see him on the first team possibly, but like he stands out at
Yep,
least against Las
I like him.
Vegas Lights, man. That
I like him.
he was
I like that
MVP
kid, man.
for me.
I liked them during the preseason, and it doesn't change when he's playing with you two now. Okay. ACB news. Real quick again, a membership is out for 2021. If you want to remember 2020, you want to hop in. We got some really dope mugs, ACB mask, and dope shirt coming out with that package. We got merch dropping this week too. We got a few shirts coming out and more to come. Dad hats and bucket hats on the way.
Ooh.
Also, big one. The June 18th, or was it June 18th or June 19th game? That's gonna be our first tailgate. Tailgate area is gonna be open for that match. We're planning on making it a party. It should be fun. Listen, you definitely get news before that, so make sure you check out socials. We are gonna be introducing some new tool for communication. So if you're a member, watch your emails. That's coming out soon. Overall, like, I know with tickets right now, just be a little patient because we are, like, for the month of May, it was sold just to season ticket members. But June and coming up, we should be able to have tickets on sale through ACB, as well as Outlaws and Galaxian. So keep an eye for that. Listen, the world's coming back together little by little, and June seems like it's gonna be the month. Can't wait to have everybody back there because, as Angel knows, as anybody who's been in the stadium the last couple games, like, my God, it feels good to be home. So can't wait to have everybody back there starting in June. Anything else? Do we need to shout out anything else before we take off?
Yeah, one more thing. Get vaccinated like LAFC did on Saturday. So.
Yep. Get vaccinated if you haven't. Go out there. Stay safe. Cool. With that being said,
Mark Anthony K is gonna have nightmares for the rest of his life, huh?
Yep.
The same way
Forever,
Tim Melia is gonna have the rest of life with Zlatan.
I feel like every game, bro, it's someone
Blessing?
right? Like
Yeah.
every
somebody that's
game,
taking
like,
L.
like Miller,
That's funny.
Blessing, now K.
Yep.
That shit
Somebody
is
got
great.
taken out. All right. Hey, listen, the good thing is that he's gonna go to Nashville and have a good career there or something like that. So it's gonna be fine. With that being said, is another episode Straight from the Stance. I'm Rudy, and I'm Smarts on Twitch. I'm Smarts on Twitter. I'm Smarts on the gram.
Follow me at Canelo.
That's right. Yeah. Angel ADF3691 on Instagram and PSN Network and Twitch.
Ooh. Peace, love, and G's up. Fuck Levas.
That's right.
Peace. Have a good night, y'all. That's tight, though. We average like